Welcome back to Hope for the Dawn. This is session one. Although the screen seems to have swindled me on its update, it says it's session zero. It's not. Session one. And yeah, last session we went through the process of working on the characters and also the circle together. And we discussed the main narrative thrust for the beginning of this session. So we will basically be picking up right at the beginning, right at the onset, and I'm going to ask the group for a volunteer to be first, the one that I focus in on first. Whoever says they want to go first is first.
Not volunteer Jonah.
No, no,
Fuck.
no, no, no. Not an
He's
option.
the,
I'll
he's the
volunteer.
oldest. He's the oldest.
I'll volunteer.
Okay.
It's fine.
All right. Great.
Chickens.
So
Sorry, I'm eating.
the night of the fair. Of course, I don't presume that Catherine would be one to kind of visit a fair about inventions, the New Fair World Exhibition. That's probably something that you aren't too terribly interested, or would it be something that she would be terribly interested in?
I don't know about terribly interested, but like getting some Captain America vibes where, inventions may have some cool weapons or something. She's a soldier, so it'd be
Okay.
something she'd mosey to, not anything that she's,
So certainly not like fashion, like bright green colored dresses.
absolutely not.
Okay. So that makes sense. So obviously you're kind of wandering about the space. As I said, like it's very electric. It is very much the case that there's a lot of fair food. Caramel corn. There's probably other fried or fried sweets like elephant ears and the like. And the night for you, there doesn't seem to be anything that goes awkward. There's nothing that feels off. There's no strangeness to the evening, right? You just go out, you have fun, probably more so with like friends that are not associated with the Candela Obscura, um, and you head back home. When you do get back to your home, you would note that you do have mail in your mail slot or inside your mailbox, despite having already received mail for the day. So someone must have put a letter in there while you were out enjoying the environs of the evening. Um, when you pull the letter out, no markings, completely blank black envelope. Opening it up, the ink and matter like before you is kind of coded, but it's a code that you're not unfamiliar with. And basically, the gist of the message says, "Meet up." The what's the name of the bar?
Oh, the something in saddle, boot and saddle.
Boot and Saddle, before dawn. And then
Right.
it is signed Jeremy, and it's just the first name. Jeremy is the a name that you're familiar with. Some of the lightkeepers are more well known, but you know that there is a newer lightkeeper that is basically being connected to your circle. You've heard about this in the past, but you've never met Jeremy, nor have you ever worked with or for Jeremy. Okay.
Ready?
So explain to us a bit about how Catherine looks, a bit about how Catherine kind of engages with the evening before the letter, and then kind of how she engages with her own like kind of personal space towards the end.
Okay. Um, Catherine's gonna be not fashionably dressed necessarily, like no dresses or anything, but she will be well kept and she's gonna have, I don't, I wouldn't say necessarily in uniform for something like this, but again, kind of Victorian buttoned up kind of vibe. She got a funnel cake for
Mm-hmm.
sure, and just kind of wandered around. Um, Again, taking a look at various inventions that she might have thought were interesting. Um, like I said, not much for fashion or anything of like that, but definitely like the engineering type of inventions. And interacted with any friends that she came in contact to with there, again, that weren't necessarily um, part of this um, group. But after a while, she was ready to go and continued munching on her phone cake on her way home. And took out her letter and read that. And I would say she's probably not super excited simply because this was kind of supposed to be just a fun, chill kind of night. And then now I have to go to work kind of thing, but nothing unexpected, I don't think. So,
And yeah,
mainly, I,
one thing I want to specify, it's something that we kind of got towards the end and didn't clarify, but the Candela Obscura is not like your full time job. It is basically a secret society you are a member of and will engage in. You're not fighting the hordes of like the unknown every day. So it is very much the case that you're still, I mean, depending on how you want to look at it, I mean, you could have removed yourself from the military for whatever reason and are kind of like drawing on, your benefits and the like from that. You could still be kind of, mustering and the like. But everybody's still doing the job that they've chosen. It's just that you also are doing this other side gig.
great, got two jobs. Oh, okay.
You're like Daredevil.
Well, so then definitely the friends that I interacted with are people that I would interact with on the daily basis. Then I would assume we're probably maybe just like maybe a weekend leave or something, just
Yeah.
having some fun. Um, so yeah,
Okay.
that sounds good to me.
Perfect. And then next volunteer who wants to go next.
I'll go next.
Okay.
Ladies first.
So, similarly, the fair is obviously something that the city of New Fair is kind of experiencing this evening.
Mhm.
Um, is it something that Pearl would like include herself in, or something she'd kind of keep herself distanced from, just handling her own kind of matters at home? Or
I'm thinking that she would definitely go, but more as like a potential like article writing opportunity, even though it's not like crime like she usually writes for. She's like looking for that next like big article, so she's writing about the different invention or trying to write about the different new inventions or like fashion, whatever, trying to put a fun spin to it.
okay. So it definitely sounds like you're trying to kind of be where the action's at, find
Yeah.
out what's interesting, see
Hmm.
the coolest or the newest inventions, and kind of capture those. Okay, so what I'm going to have you do, since you are kind of inspecting and analyzing the fair in essence, night of, I'd like for you
Hmm.
to roll a focus roll.
Okay.
And to do that, you'll just click. I don't
Uh,
believe
First roll of the
it
night.
is the first roll of this entire game. Yeah, it's great.
oh wow, this is, I don't modify it or anything.
What did it ask?
So it has, these are the two dice you will roll,
Yep,
question mark.
no
And then it has like
modifications.
rolling action, modify roll, drive from.
If you want to
Okay,
spend drive,
just
you can.
okay. I'm just gonna do a regular roll.
Okay. So you got a six. That's a success. Okay. So you're
Cool.
finding the stories. Okay.
Hmm.
So you remember how last night or the last time we played, I kind of read off a large blurb about stuff.
Yeah.
That was basically from your perspective. You basically are moving about the fair, looking at the very interesting situations that are kind of popping up. Your X-rays, your zippers, your other stuff, and you happen to be in the crowd when Vera Montgomery melts in front of everybody.
Oh shit.
So that is information that you actually have on site.
Hmm.
Um, what, being a member of the Obscura, what would be your first? And I'm gonna post this in our side channel just so you have it. It's gonna be in a message format. Sorry, it's a lot of text, but it's also in the book. But that said, um, being a member of the Obscura, but also being a journalist, seeing that event happen, seeing people kind of getting moseyed out of there by security,
Hmm.
um, is there any kind of is there anything that you would want to be doing at that point, at the
Um,
event of that happening?
well, besides like furiously scribbling in her little notebook, that's just like about the size of her hand, she'd probably, instead of like people like there's people running away from the stage, she's probably trying to like push her way through the crowd to get closer.
And do you have a purpose to take pictures
Um,
or just to?
yeah, to take pictures of it.
Okay. And so we have another possibly interesting thing here. Is a camera one of the gear options for you?
It
So
is.
yeah, you're pulling out your one of your three gear, and you'll have it for the rest of the entirety of the
Okay.
mission. But camera out,
Yep.
photographs being taken, and then like the gory details are there. Red, nasty viscera of a melted, glowing bones, and a kind of glowing green dress.
Yeah.
It's pretty graphic, um, but you're right there on the scene, taking pictures. Um, what besides that, like kind of once the kind of throng is kind of spilled out, and mostly what's left behind are curious individuals, members of the kind of staff that work in this specific display, this specific kind of program here,
Hmm.
and what appear to be kind of like the Bobby, kind of like your just regular kind of, you know, beat cops who are kind of trying to ensure everyone's kind of moving off. They see you. They initially look like they want to kind of come over and like muscle you out. This is just the general cops, not like any
Hmm.
security staff. Um, but they don't because they realize who you are. You are a member of the press, and that would just
Yep.
not go well for them.
She might even have like a press badge on or something
Sure.
that she got from the fair.
Yeah, that makes sense. Or maybe like a wristband or something. Yeah,
Yeah.
just like a simple colored kind of bit of cord around the
Yeah.
wrist. Okay. Um, so once like that kind of initial burst of like, um, you know, everybody kind of being muscled out,
Mm.
and you've got pretty sound pictures, are you going to just continue to investigate the situation, or is there anything else you want to do?
I think once she has her story, she's honestly gonna like book it home to try and type this up.
Okay, so you're not really focused on anything else though, just preserving the story.
Um,
There's
I
no
mean,
wrong answers here, by the
how,
way.
yeah, how close would the officer, like if she's approaching the stage,
Hmm.
would the officers kind of shoo her
No,
back?
no. So you would have been able to get to the stage before they did.
Oh,
And so you
okay.
were able to kind of get up there and take pictures. And when they kind of come in and start like ensuring that everybody who is not supposed to be here has gone on and moved on,
Hmm.
um, you would basically be kind of left behind, taking your pictures and writing your notes.
Oh, okay. Then I think she would be like looking at where the woman was in that case. Like if she's able to get up there, she's
Yeah.
gonna try and like get
So
all she can out of the
you
story.
get a couple shots. You're kind of focused up there. You get up on the stage. You're kind of seeing the situation. There's this very just vibrant uh, humming on the
Hmm.
stage. But again, that's probably just the thrum of electricity. The lights are very bright up here. There's a
Hmm.
certain heat that's kind of, present here. Outside, a bit cooler and colder, so people are kind of dressed for it. But as you kind of get up onto the stage, like you can understand like the pressures of being kind of up in front of everybody.
Yeah.
Um, the official officers are kind of moving about. You then see about four individuals kind of come into the place, and they look like hired muscle. Like
Hmm.
they don't exactly look like they are official, um, in the sense that they aren't like working for the city.
Hmm.
The largest of the individuals walks over to you and says, "Excuse me, ma'am. I'm gonna have to ask you to leave. I know you've got credentials and all, but I'm gonna need you to leave. It's a bit of a problem, yeah."
It's a bit mess, but I was just trying to get my story. No worries.
Okay, well, if you're done, then you can head off.
All right, thank you. And then she'll kind of whisk away, and then like now she's booking it home.
Cautiously whisking away, or kind of hurriedly, like rushing off.
Like I think getting off the stage, she'd kind of go slow, and then like once she's kind of like out of eyesight, she would just like book it.
Okay,
'Cause like
so
she's ready to like type this up.
hurriedly instead of like cautiously. You're
Yeah.
beating the
Gotta put that
feet.
story to print.
Okay.
She beaten feet, yeah.
Yeah, so you presume that those folks are probably in some way related to the company that's or corporation that's sponsoring whatever that was.
Hmm.
And so the information that you're gonna be able to glean out of that is that Undark, the glowing signs and all of the kind of advertisements present there, had beneath it in kind of smaller, harder to kind of see lettering, um, a Radiance Corporation product. Okay. So when you get home,
Hmm. Sorry, I was typing that.
no problem. You'd probably be getting home earlier than others. So
Hmm.
when you're kind of in the process of slamming away at the keys of your
Yeah, she's
typewriter,
yeah, she's
there's
got a
a
typewriter.
profoundly loud double knock at the door.
Hmm.
And you can kind of, as you're moving towards the door, hear someone moving away from the door.
Hmm.
Um, you would kind of peek outside, see a long, like black coated individual with like a top hat, um, holding a lantern and walking away, and the light
Hmm.
seems to obscure your view of him other than his silhouette. Or her silhouette, or their silhouette. You're not sure for certain.
Right. Um, she'd poke her head outside, and would she know to kind of like check her mailbox or the
Well, are you a
doorstep or
mailbox
something?
type or are you a mail slit type? Like, I assume like mail slits are typically more kind of well-to-do individuals, and journalists to me seems a little bit more hoity-toity.
Yeah.
Is that fair to say?
Yeah, no, that's fine.
So as you're kind of looking outside, kind of trying to figure out what's happening, you look down when you close the door, and you can see that there is a black envelope, and
Mm.
the letter's contents will be identical to Catherine's.
All right. She'd open it up and decipher it,
Yep.
and then try and finish typing that article out and then head over.
Okay. Perfect. Well, that'll be in the morning. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Um, Great. We have three more individuals. I will put it to you folks to nominate yourselves or whoever wants to kind of push forward.
Me, go.
Okay. So, fair is a pretty ripe picking ground for a criminal. Uh, so I'm assuming you're out and about.
I'm out and about.
Okay. And you're looking for the hoitiest and the toitiest, the
The
people with
holiest,
the.
holiest. The people that would be interested in fashion. Yes.
Yes, yes. But you're looking specifically for the people who kind of have the kind of more thick purses, right? So I
Mm.
would say that while going into a crowded area like that is tempting, you're a professional. And so going into a closed area like that venue and being in there with a lot of people close and tight to the body, it could be very beneficial because you can just point and blame people. But you also notice that there's a lot of people who seem to know each other. So that's probably not going to fly. If something happens, if a bump goes wrong, if, something gets noticed and there's nowhere to kind of move to, you're going to be stuck inside of a cramped area and not be able to escape. So you kind of wait outside of it, right? And as people are moving into it, pick them off, right? And also check some of the smaller vendors nearby or displays that are not inside of like a tent like that one is.
I feel
One
like
big
he'd be one of those guys that like goes inside, gets a bunch of the little guides for the fair, then goes outside and starts selling them, handing them off to people.
that
Five
could also
cents.
work.
5 cents.
Yeah, that could also work. So you could be, yeah, maneuvering the
Now he knows who has money. He's like, oh, you got money. Oh, you're
so.
distracted by that little guy. Whoop.
Where how do I figure my way around this place? Well, let me help you. It only costs you whatever the money in this game is. Whatever. We'll say dollar. Um, but yeah, so you're kind of nearby that tent when everything kind of happens as it does. Um, and I'll say for the point of kind of just narrative structure, um, you're busy when that is happening. There is a very large influx of people for a bit, which for you, like, not great, because there's kind of a lot of people hustling out, moving and about, and you can see that there's also a larger grouping of police officers, kind of maneuvering about the tent and also helping people away from the tent. So this has immediately become like a no situation for your current jobs at hand. But it is a weird thing that you'll notice. The other thing you'll notice too is like not too far from there, there's like some very interesting devices that are on display here. I think the one that probably catches your eye the most is this X-ray machine. It seems to have the ability to see through like garments, through flesh, see right down to the bone. In one of the X-rays that are taken, you can actually see how many coins are in a person's pocket, and it's kind of like, oh, okay,
Okay,
cool.
interesting. Can I get that in pocket size?
I just need a
Pair of
goggles.
goggles.
It's every boy's dream. Um, anyway, but yeah, the mustering happens. You kind of move away from that space once everybody kind of storms out of the tent. Due to whatever happens later in the evening, because you're kind of ear to the ground, you do hear whispers of Vera Montgomery having passed away um, this evening, and it was a really tragic sight. But you don't get much detail beyond that. But I assume you work a full night, right?
Yeah.
Okay. When you get back home, it's late. Letter in the letterbox, just like everyone else. And it reads just as follows. So give me a description, like if you want to kind of side path from any of the stuff that I said there. Tell me about your character. Tell me about how your character kind of maneuvers about the space in the day or in the
Alan
evening.
is a rough and tumble criminal. He likes to pick pockets and listen, hang around where he shouldn't be. Uh, but probably just hung around at the fair for a little while after everything happened, just kind of trying to figure out what happened.
Okay.
Then he'd probably just go to like one of those little dive bars and
Well,
drink.
if it was your intent without like, because of course you don't want to just enter into the place. You have no authority, and the cops were
Um,
present, right? But you did
um,
want to learn as much as you could about that. Is that fair to say?
yeah.
Okay. Uh, hold on. Okay, I'm streaming. I don't know why that does that sometimes. Okay, so Alan, then what I need you to do is go ahead and since you're trying to kind of track down or kind of catch like the details, um, I'd say go ahead and give me a survey roll. Okay,
Wait, should I roll two?
you rolled it in.
I
Uh,
have one pip in surveys. I just one roll, or is it two
yeah, one
dice?
pip means one die. So you have no
Okay.
pips, you have no dice.
Okay. Yeah. Failure.
Okay.
Didn't see nothing. Didn't catch nothing.
Yeah, the only information you got is what I kind of proffered. It's the Vera Montgomery passed away last night. It was really tragic. It happened at some tent, which you're kind of putting two and two together. But that's pretty much all the information you're able to kind of muster up while you're kind of also trying to like fish money and the like out of people's pockets. Okay, great. And then yeah, you get back home, you get the letter, you know what to do in the morning. Um, All right. So that. Whoa, buddy. Okay. Sorry, my cat jumped on the desk but didn't make it all the way, and then almost fell and yeah. Okay. Two
Simba.
left. Joseph,
Race.
Could be only one. Long live the king.
Joseph or Jonah.
Okay.
Okay. So, um, doctor, probably working, could be at the fair. It's entirely up to you.
Probably working.
So then, yeah, you're kind of probably dealing with the kind of altercations and aftermaths of disagreements at the fair as they're being kind of brought in. You decided to work a late evening because you had, certain things, certain tests, and certain other matters you wanted to attend to, and have kind of picked up helping with the more like immediate, emergent matters. Your night doesn't go terribly long compared to everyone else's. When you finally kind of finish with your evening, the fair is still going on. You could potentially enter into it and engage with it, or you could just head home. It's not
Probably head home.
it's not the first time you've seen a fair. Like they have
Yeah.
one every year. It's not like it's a big deal. Okay, when you get home, there is no letter in your box because you're there a lot earlier than everyone else. Late in the evening, I'm assuming you're a quick to bed kind of individual.
Probably reading until then. But
Okay.
yeah.
So you still got your side lamp on. You're probably like in the state of like, that last sentence that you're capable of reading, not that you want to read, you know what I mean? Like your eyes are kind of like, oh. And then just as you're like, pretty confident that like you're in a dream state, there's a loud double knock on the door. Um, it probably takes you a bit to muster out of the bed. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
So there is no sign of who knocked when you get there. And then again, similarly to Elizabeth's character, the presumption is that Javier has a mail slit instead of like a mail box. So there is the black envelope. Not the first time you've seen one before, and same message as everyone else. But describe a bit about Javier while he's working, while he's kind of headed home, as he's kind of engaging with the move to bed and possibly a bit about the book he's reading.
So definitely, I mean, works a lot to kind of learn more of his trade, and then I don't know, like, kind of focuses a lot on the learning aspect of everything, and then really doesn't interact with a whole lot of people outside of like the group here, and then the patients or whoever. Um, Definitely like always on the search for knowledge, so it would be like a book, something that most people would find boring, but maybe something that he happened across or they happened across in the like past week. I don't know, I don't really know how else what else to say.
No, yeah, that's solid. Again, probably prim and proper, very well dressed while
Yeah.
working, dressed for the job. But after, a very deep cleaning kind of situation, putting on the hat, the starched collar, and heading out into the night, as you're kind of passing people by who are, jovial and kind of, not very mindful of the people they're passing by. You're very kind of avoidant. So like you can see like a group of drunken, youths rushing past you. You're very clear to kind of move off of the path so that you're not bumped into or in any way a problem for their evening as well. And then yeah, when you get home, it's like a Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood kind of like disrobing down to like a comfortable like pajamas, and then yeah, the letter comes through, and then the book at home, I'm assuming, is probably more the fun research. Is that fair to say? Like
Probably.
stuff that might be more relevant to the letter. Okay. Cool. Last but not least, Jonah.
And me.
So, are you at the fair or no?
Um, it's would he have heard something like about there being like a bleed
No.
thing there? So no, he wouldn't be at the fair. He would most likely be at the bar already drinking,
Okay.
just trying to calm down from just being awake.
So then you will be there when um, Jeremy, the lightkeeper, um, arrives on the scene at the bar, right? Um, the barkeep for this location um, goes by the name Wilfred, and he's an older guy, old soldier type. He's nice enough, but it's usually kind of like uh, in kind of like a cheers mentality. He's not the kind of guy who's going to sugarcoat his advice for you. Like if he feels like he's going to be giving you advice, it's pretty much straight to the point, telling you like about you know what you need to do. He's not a member of the Candela Obscura. He's aware of the Candela Obscura, but it's kind of a situation where that shit happens in the back. You pay you're paying for it, whatever, fine. But he doesn't ask questions and he genuinely doesn't care. Um, but he's there. You're kind of drinking. A couple of other people are kind of present. Um, None of them really members of the Obscura, to your knowledge. These just seem to be kind of fair goers who have kind of moseyed a bit farther away from the fair than one would be like to want to do if they're actually wanting to engage with it. But yeah, Jeremy comes in, long black cloak, top hat. Um, there's a lantern kind of hooked to his belt, and on his vest there's a very fine looking platinum chain attached presumably to a timepiece set inside of his vest pocket. He is a relatively um, dapper looking individual, um, quite handsome, like, you know, um, just very presentable, um, clean shaven, and he has kind of a look on his face that's intense, but at the same time approachable. Um, you've met him once, and you're the only one of the circle who has. You know that Jeremy has been assigned as the lightkeeper for your circle, the circle of the watchful eye, by the kind of hierarchy of the Candela Obscura. Um, and it's an attempt to ensure that the effective retirement of your last lightkeeper is quickly, like there's a quick kind of rollover. So this would be the first time you've been with this lightkeeper, um,
Hmm.
and then it would have been probably a good month or two since the last time you've actually done anything for the Candela Obscura as a circle. So you're kind of on a bit of a hiatus. He enters into the space, kind of looks at you, makes a gesture with his hand as he kind of moves into the backspace, which you kind of recognize as being kind of a request for you to follow him.
Yeah, he follows.
As the door closes, or as you close the door behind you, he says, "Mr. Dark, it's a very perturbing evening tonight. I do apologize, but I'm going to have to muster your circle. I hope that you folks are ready. I believe that there has been a bleed over from the other space, or possibly a boiling up from the old fair. I'm not sure as to which." And he kind of goes into the details. These seem to you, Jonah, the role player, to be kind of given secondhand. Like it doesn't sound as accurate and detailed
Mm.
as uh, Pearl would have. We are not hands-on experience. Basically, it's the broad brush strokes um, that we're kind of getting here from Jeremy. And he says, "I'll have you muster in the morning. I'll go pass out the letters to your associates. Um, do you have any questions for me before I head out?"
Any of the constituents were they hurt?
Just Lady Montgomery. It does seem like everyone else was fine.
And did we have any sightings on the creature?
I couldn't hear you. What did you just say?
Did we have any sightings on the creature?
No, absolutely not. Just the effects, and a creature capable of melting a person is one that I have never dealt with. I don't think you and your circle have either. So we are definitely in for a doozy.
One indeed.
And he kind of finishes up the letters, slips them into the black envelopes, shuts those, puts them into his long coat pocket, gets up, lights the lantern, and heads out the back door. Okay. So you obviously don't need a letter, and you know where to be.
He's just gonna get his stuff ready.
Yeah, you'll probably head to your house. So tell us a bit about Nicholas in appearance, and also kind of like as you move to your home, like in muster, like if there's anything you want to kind of prepare to be.
So Nicholas is an older gentleman. He's been with the Candela Obscura for quite a while. He mostly wears like earthy tones, earthy darker tones in color for his clothing. He has his signature trench coat that he has to wear to feel safe. Um, and yeah, that's pretty much it. He's an old man.
Okay. And great. Does anybody have anything they want to interject into the beat here before we move to the next part? Okay.
Nope.
So then, you awake early, perhaps having some form of electronic function, like an alarm clock, like a wind-up alarm clock or something to that effect, that will kind of make you make it capable for you to be on time. You head through the town, or head through the city rather, and you make your way to the spot. When you get there, you obviously will be coming in a sequence, like even if you don't intend to. Who personally feels like they would be there the earliest?
Probably me.
Okay. Bright and early.
Crack a dawn.
Okay.
I would
So-
be there pretty early, I feel like, too. But
Yeah, so do I.
I was like,
I would say that kind of situationally, there are people that are trusted by Wilfred as kind of key holders, right? And I hate to say this, Foxen, but I just can't find it in my heart to believe that Alan would be one of those individuals.
Hey.
I would say that it's more likely the case that Javier is probably the one that Alan is waiting on. And Catherine, you kind of arrive very much at the same time as Javier. Or at least it looks like that's the case. Instead of waiting right at the door so it looked like a scene and people might ask questions about it, you tactically remained a distance away, saw Javier moving towards the door, let in Alan, and then you kind of move quickly and stridently to enter into the space at approximately the same time. Which everyone else looked like great timing. And then I'm assuming that Pearl's not going to be right on time.
Right. I think she probably had to stop by the printers just to make sure that everything printed well.
So you're running a story?
I would assume that she'd want to get that story out as quick as she could.
Fair enough.
Model melts on stage.
Okay.
Exclusive.
in your story writing, are you kind of understanding, like as you were writing it and having editorial possibility for changing your mind due to the letter arriving, would you have been like full detail out on the floor, or would you kind of pulled back from it and made it like less?
More news, less editorial,
Yeah,
just straight facts.
I'm
I
really
think
Private
she
getting
passed
into
would.
my own
away.
medicine. I really don't like this. I play a journalist in the cult game, and I don't like. I'm just gonna kill Elizabeth's character, and we'll just move on
I'm
next.
getting revenge for Shijo.
Yeah, that's fair.
No.
Obviously.
This is why you had to split us. No, I think she would kind of make sure to still embellish it a bit, but she didn't focus quite as much on, like, she made more of like a generalized one and submitted that one, but then also wrote a like she first wrote the like big story, and then she finished writing that after the letter, and then wrote up another one that was a little bit more generalized and actually submitted that one,
Okay.
but still covered that melting story because that was cool.
Question: Did you already like get the photos out? What is it? Processing, I guess.
Well, she probably
Yeah, like what photos did you like take and then submit? Like, did you get all the gore and everything that you submit to the papers, or is that just for us?
I imagine that she submitted 3 photos, one of like the x-rays, one of like the zippers, and then because I imagine they had like some sort of like mildly scandalous demonstration of like a lady zipping up a skirt or something. Um, and then like the first shot that she took where she was further away from the stage. Because like there's not, you have to, for brownie cameras, you actually have to like, it's not just like a film roll. You have to like put in a plate, take out the plate. Like it's a whole,
That's mad work.
it's a whole thing. Like it's a whole process. It's not just like
Actually,
click,
Peter, clip
click.
their shoes at the bottom.
So she would have submitted the like far away one. That makes sense.
Okay.
Not close up on the gore.
Yeah, makes sense. Um, Obviously, there would be kind of.
But she did get one of like right up there on the stage.
Oh yeah, she got it all.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So, are you bringing those with you when you head? Maybe that's why you're possibly a bit tardy. You're kind of like mustering. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Because like she also had to develop these two,
Mhm.
and that's like 10 minutes a plate.
It was a long night.
By the way, y'all, did we choose circle gear?
Is circle gear the same as character gear, and that you can just drop it out whenever?
I think so. Yeah, I
There's
think
no
it's
need
like
to choose on
available.
it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just having an idea of what's available is probably pertinent, though. If you want to make
Mhm.
everybody aware of what the options are.
Yeah. Let me.
Gear is a collection of gear that's available to the entire circle of investigators, just like the gear on the character sheet.
I
So-
did share it.
Do we add that to like our gear list so
No.
we can? Oh, okay.
It's in the circle character sheet that we're utilizing.
It's under ROM General. I shared all the gear that we can get minus the artifacts.
I'll pin it. I will try to pin it. I will be confused as I am unable. There we go.
It's all right.
Yeah, those are the things. Those are the things.
So, you've been called in. I think the only person I missed was Jonah's character, Nicholas. Arriving before or after Pearl.
Probably after. He's
Okay.
old. It takes him a little while.
Sure. So then you all
His
arrive.
move isn't that good.
Last person in for your group is Nicholas. This is the first time you've met, and I'd say probably the earliest time ago was about a month ago. So being familiar with one another, if you'd like to engage in some conversation before your Lightkeeper arrives.
Would it be okay to say that Nicholas gets the paper every day?
Yeah.
Okay.
Most people would.
That's true.
Whether it's from
That's
like a
true.
newsboy or delivered to your house.
And did Pearl publish her findings?
Yeah, so it would have been in the morning paper.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're probably
Actually-
all standing here reading your story.
I'll be
You all-
realistic. With the time and constraints there, I'm pretty sure it's been submitted and will probably be released during the evening paper.
Evening paper? Okay.
Keep in mind, there's no news channel, so that's multiple papers per day.
Got you.
Now, if she wants to come in and like lay it down on the table and let us see it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, she has hard copy. But
Probably had to go pick up the proof,
you
but also
understand
the proof.
that your light keeper isn't present, and your group is kind of sitting there engaged. If there's no interactions, again, there's no paper for you to yell at her about if that was your angle.
Yeah.
I like
That
it.
was the goal.
I like it, but realistically, I can't say that paper would have been able to have been made that quickly.
Yeah.
There's just no way.
Yeah, okay. We'll save
Well, I
that
was
for
just
next
gonna-
time.
I mean, they are literally during this time period. They're literally setting the type,
Setting the
Yep.
yeah.
Got you.
not just typing. They're doot 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 doot.
Yeah, they're
Little
getting
squares
and
that they're putting in there.
like the old roller systems. Yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
it's a hot mess.
And then to do the pictures, they have to like do the I don't actually know how to do it, but the like
It's like an
print
etching.
blocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, etching.
Big.
I did not learn about that kind.
Um,
How to do that.
But as you've all kind of sat down and are, engaging in small talk or not, just kind of staring at each other quietly, waiting, the door to the entry into the bar, like how you entered in last night, Nicholas, opens, and in walks a man in a dark coat, tall hat, who, upon kind of entering the room, pulls his hat off, closes the door behind him and locks it, and then moves into the space. He says, "Hello, fellow members. I am your Lightkeeper. My name is Jeremy Wilhelm. I'll be assisting you with this matter. We have a mission, documented as 3526. Apparently a very large circumstance happened during the evening last night. You are to investigate the mysterious death of Vera Montgomery, famous model hired to exhibit clothing dyed with the glowing green pigment known as Undark. The pigment was one of the new Fair World exhibition's most anticipated inventions, and I was shocked to learn that both the dress and her remains radiated out an incredible amount of bleed. They did not before, but when she met her end, it seems that came to be. I'd like for you to accompany me to the crime scene. What?
She's over here raising her hands.
Oh, yeah. So he's
Pearl's,
off.
Pearl's
He
raising her
obviously
hand.
he says, "I would like for you to accompany me to the crime scene."
question.
Oh, I apologize. I don't understand the measure. Yes, your question. Pearl, is it?
Yes, it's Pearl. So I was there last night and they
I
had
understand.
pictures.
I'm aware, and
Do you want to see them?
I would like to see them, but I have seen the remnants as well, and they are currently being held by the New Fair Police, and it is my intent to quickly move with you folks to the Briarbank College and enter into the area that was being utilized for this display and look at it a bit more closely. Was there anything of interest in the photography? Anything that was caught, possibly on the photographic spectrum?
Would there have been?
There was not.
Oh, okay, then no.
Okay.
No, it wasn't. I was wondering if it was okay that I put these in the paper. It would just be a really nice paycheck for me.
Over 100 people saw the matter on full display. I genuinely do not see it being an issue for you to continue your work outside of it. Of course, making sure not to mention the bleed.
Fair enough. Left
And
that
Javier
out.
peeks up at the word bleed.
Blood. Yeah,
Well,
left that
Pearl.
out. I'll get that in. That would be very nice.
Is Wilford here now?
No.
Does Wilford let us get our own drinks?
No.
Okay.
That's why you don't have a key.
Got him.
I say
Fair
probably
enough.
like
Fair enough.
it's just Javier, right?
I could purchase the bar, so I don't have a key.
It's probably just Javier with the key.
Yeah, for realsies. Okay, so he steps towards the back door, the one you entered in. I just want to cover one simple question, and it's just mainly for kind of pacing and kind of understanding from my lightkeeper's perspective. The last person in was.
Nicholas.
Was
No.
there anything that?
Oh
You,
yeah,
was
Nicholas.
there
Sorry.
anything that you did when you entered into the space that you want to notate here?
Not really. No,
Okay.
he just kind of walked in and sat himself in his usual spot.
So you see him stop at the door and look at it as he's getting ready to kind of reach out and open it, and he says, "I don't know exactly what your last lightkeeper's um, rules were, but if we are going to have meetings with a secret society in a space, I would like to make sure that the doors are locked and sealed. Next time you enter into this space for the purposes of a meeting, whoever is last in will lock it."
Wasn't he the last one in?
He was the last one in.
No, he entered in through the bar.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh.
the front door. The front door.
Okay. I'm
I
like,
was like, hold on.
I was with you
I,
too.
speci- I specifically made sure to mention that you entered in through a back door into the back room, and he entered in through the bar.
Hmm.
Gosh.
Yeah, that would have been funny. He's like, "Who's the last person in here?" "It was you, man."
You.
Oh, shit.
Shit.
Like
that
you
old
this son
TikTok
of a
trend.
But at least we were all on top of that dude.
You're the
being
asshole.
last
You're
one
the
in the
asshole.
thing.
It's you.
It's me.
It's me.
He'll never trust me with the keys to this bar again.
But I would presume that this moment of the lightkeeper kind of scolding Nicholas is obviously not, but inadvertently, because obviously he doesn't know who entered in last. But those who were in the space before Nicholas would know it was the old man's fault. Okay, so you can move out
Silly old man.
out into the open and start walking just briskly towards the college, which is a distance away. He actually moves you to a main thoroughfare.
We
and-
can't do briskly.
Yeah, we can.
Nicholas he has bad joints.
He's
We
going to
gotta
be able
walk
to
slow.
walk just fine. If you can't walk at a brisk pace, there's no need for you in the society, because how are you going to run from the
Catherine,
horrors?
carry the old man.
Yeah,
There you go.
Give on my shoulder.
I would like to say
Morning workout.
if you are at that degree, they would just put you in the libraries. Like, that would literally be the choice. I'm not trying to be ableist or anything. Please don't think that's the
It
case.
sounds like it, John.
I think we are all can talk a little shit about you being old. Like, are you gonna make it, buddy? Like,
Pat him on the back, he just turns to dust.
do you need a cane?
It's like the Thanos snap. It's like
Whoosh.
Oh no.
okay. So
I can't fix that. Sorry.
the handout specifically takes this point, and it's kind of out of character notation. So on agency in horror. So while there are moments where this game may elicit fear and unease, ultimately it's meant to be enjoyed. Remember that the goal is not to traumatize players, but to provide a safe and
I'm out.
controlled environment in which to explore darker themes and narratives.
Why are we here? No.
All right.
Yeah, I'm out.
Joking
You say
aside,
so.
if I ever cross any boundaries, please make sure to stop me. Okay.
I was
As
looking
long as
forward to
you
being
don't
traumatized.
cross the boundary of the apostle, like what the apostle did, we're good with body horror.
Okay.
Like Berserk Apostles? Or...
The movie Apostle.
Oh.
They...
I'm like,
okay,
hold on.
sorry.
What are we talking about?
I'm like,
Sorry.
okay.
It's a horror movie, and they literally drilled a guy in the head with like a giant
Ooh,
drill.
sounds dope.
It was disgusting because it
Wanna
was
watch that.
slow. I go for it. It's on Netflix.
Fuck yeah.
Favorite.
So
Add to list.
you make it to the school, and it looks like a space has been kind of set up for the specific purposes of maintaining the area,
Yeah.
right? So the tent is just outside, and it looks like the kind of bulk of material that you would have saw kind of outside of it, because obviously the fair is broken down, but it looks like it's been kind of put into the nearby college. The crime scene itself and the stage itself remain the same. Yeah. The notations here too is that there are spaces that basically the tent was built on the side, or it was kind of out on the side of the school, right? And there was like a stage present near there. So they were utilizing spaces inside of the college for like stock and kind of keeping things kind of offside. Possibly a dressing room as well, just offside of the stage. And basically they'd come out into the cold air and kind of move up onto the stage and do their, whatever they were doing. So that's kind of the scene as you see it. And kind of it being dismantled in this way, for those who were near it last night or who were in it last night, kind of just lays bare like how vibrant it was last night to the kind of stock grays and kind of cool, just chill of new fare that's present all throughout your lives, right? It was bright lights, green, vibrant colors, and then today it's just dreary. There are some folks nearby who appear to have been recalled here by the cops for the purposes of any kind of questioning that the Obscura would have. And in situations like this in the past, when you're kind of cooperating with law enforcement, it's typically the case that you are investigators. So your official kind of position is that. Now, if you have an out of Obscura kind of mentality, like, for example, Pearl, I am a journalist, I'm here for that purpose, or, what have you, absolutely. I mean, feel free to use whatever kind of angle you wish to in this discourse. The main thing is just, you're not important because of the society. The society has made it so you can get access in a way that's um, not normally granted to a doctor, a criminal, soldier, or the like. Make sense? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you're allowed to kind of explore the exhibition hall. Like I said, you've got the stage itself. The graphic scene is still present there, but they've put kind of uh, effectively just kind of oh my god, I don't know the word. Why is the word not working?
Caution tape?
No. Like
No.
like when somebody goes into like changing, they put up the little dividers. What are
Oh,
those?
like a curtain?
Yeah, like curtains, I guess, but they're like the wood ones.
Oh, I'm muted. A screen.
Oh.
Yeah, the
A
little
screen.
screen thing.
Yeah, so they've got screens up to kind of block the view of it, right? And then, of course, the space behind the theater, or behind the stage is present and available to you as well. And then the people that have been recalled to answer any questions for the for law enforcement who were present and their statements were yet to be taken last night are on the scene.
Is the organic material present for me to like look at?
Hmm?
Is the
What's left
organic
of it.
like what's left of the woman there still too?
Yeah, absolutely. So you kind of head up the stage. Obviously, the lightkeeper kind of, is center of the room, kind of keeping an eye on the circle, and is available for kind of a resource. If anybody wants the lightkeeper to aid them, Jeremy would be more than willing to do so. But you move up to the corpse itself. Not being a stranger to bleed, like kind of crossover from the other side, like you definitely get a vibe that what you're looking at, this mess of a person, is very much. This was a supernatural occurrence. This was not something that happened. I mean, obviously, we assume
Naturally.
we assume that was the case, but yeah. Okay. It's a mess. Is there anything in particular you're looking for, like at it, or?
I don't know what I'm looking for. I mean, I even have this like specialty to be able to like to get advantage on or it's additional gilded die to focus roll on dissecting a piece of organic matter affected by bleed.
Well,
I don't know
there's
what I'm gonna find from that, but
really no dissection here.
I know I'm like, I don't really know what to do with it. But hey, I got an advantage on it.
I can get a
So
sample if you want one, but
I think you'd have a
So-
better time dissecting like a yogurt pack, right? Because like, it's mostly fluid.
it's mostly
yes.
hey,
fluid
I'm
and
just trying to use
dress.
with what I've got on my.
I get
what,
you. So I guess the main thing I'm trying to relate to you is that the dress remains.
But she's a puddle. She's gone.
The
Oh.
body remains in that the bones are still kind of present, and then everything else is just viscera. It's like she melted, like Raiders of the Lost Ark style,
Nice.
into a puddle
I mean-
in her dress.
I guess we're wanting to see like if that anywhere else in the place is affected by it. I don't really know what
Got
exactly
you.
we're looking for in this space or
So-
why we're here.
The
I
main
can
thing,
help with that.
the main thing I want to stress here is the dress is still glowing, right? It still has like a vibrant kind of green glow to it, and the bleed is not just the remnants of her. The dress seems to be this kind of source, this kind of breach itself.
I get that, but what do we do with that? Like, what does that mean? What do we do with this information and progression of story?
I'm gonna ask the lightkeeper. What'd you say this dress was made of?
The dress was
Un-
made of normal materials,
Undark.
but it was colored with a pigment called undark.
It's
Can I?
from the Radiance Corporation, I believe. It was on the.
Correct. It's a pigment that apparently can incorporate into any material. It's vibrant green. I don't know much about the matters of it. If that's something you wish to investigate.
Can I use the bleed detector?
Yeah, absolutely. So that is a item That's a piece of gear you're pulling, or is that?
Yeah, so I added it to the circle gear so anyone can use it at any point in time. Same thing with the bleed containment vial, just in case. If Nicholas can't get to it, everyone else
Well,
can use it.
Well,
Joseph.
I can also do that.
Yeah,
Fine.
you're
I
there
actually,
on the side. The bleed containment vial is a very good choice. In fact, it
I
stays
was
right.
planning to use that.
It says
yeah,
you might want to remind them to use a bleed containment vial.
Yeah.
sure.
So the thing you would note is the potency of the dress is insanely high,
Sure.
right?
Okay.
It seems like the dress is the cause, right? And you feel like it's so toxic that if you were to like touch it for a long duration, it might
Hmm.
hurt you,
Okay.
right?
So then, um, so yeah, we're definitely gonna use the bleed containment vial on that
And
then.
Nicholas, if you're kind of like going around with the scanner, effectively looking around for stuff, the only source of bleed in the area is behind the screen, right? So you would
Hmm.
see that Javier, based on what Joseph said, is starting to kind of put the. I mean, it's a vial. I don't think it's that massive. So you're just trying to kind of
We could
capture.
take like a part of it and
Yeah,
then,
you're just trying to
show them.
capture a sample of the bleed and also
Yeah.
of the material. I'm assuming there are tongs and tools that you're kind of out and about, kind of.
Yeah, pull out a scalpel cut a piece.
Yeah, scalpel
Javier
cuttings.
got that. He got it.
Okay. And so yeah, you kind of come up behind him as that's happening with the bleed detector, and it's probably one of the strongest kind of sources of bleed that you in your long years have detected. But there's no monster, there's no creepiness. It's just a dress,
Yeah,
a glowing
that's
green dress.
odd. I don't know if it'll work here, but would sense be applicable here? Like to see if there's like an apparition?
No, there's nothing like that.
Nothing? Okay. Um,
Um,
Not their dress is obviously the source.
Yes, we have the source. Now,
Yeah,
what
yeah.
do we
Where
do
did
with
it come
is the
from?
big question.
we
Sure.
took.
I still don't understand what I'm doing with this.
great. So we've got some
As the
people.
brains of the operation, I am confused. I am confusion.
Doc, you're with us.
So we've got some people who might understand the scenario a bit better and might be able to ask the questions that they need to. The doctor has done what they need to do. They've contained what they can. They have a sample of the dress, the material, physical thing that exists in real space and that didn't just manifest out of
Mhm.
nowhere. It came from somewhere, and that can be tracked down. I just want to make sure that you know
Well,
that
let's do it.
that's an
Let's
option.
track that shit down.
There are also the people that were kind of brought into the thing, and I will say too, Pearl, there are a couple of people that you recognize. So you would see that there is the guys, the toughs from last night, right? They look like they're tired. The large one that talked to you in the midst of the bit. Hold on, I gotta deny this idiot. No, I don't want. I don't want to be famous. Okay, I'm good.
Aw.
I want to be famous.
No, they always come in and they post these like, oh yeah, yeah, you can be famous. But it was the
Click
other
this
night.
link.
Well, the
Be
other
famous,
night
join me. Pay
I
me
had them
money.
message
I'll
me
get
on
you
the
40,
side,
40
and
subs.
like they seemed like genuine at first, and like they're following, and I was like, yeah, you can
That's
also be
weird.
famous, and I'm like, I don't want to be
No.
famous, man.
Yeah, that's
If
weird.
you want me to be famous, make me famous, but I'm not gonna do anything or give you my
Extra shit.
credit card number or anything.
Right.
Um, so yeah, focusing
Calm
back up.
down.
So the toughs are
They're there.
there.
Looks
They
like
look
one of them,
tired.
the main one that you talked to. Yeah, he's got a cup of coffee. Steam kind of just like from the coffee, just kind of billowing around his face. And then you'd also notice another individual that you recognize, but haven't had like too many kind of engagements with. So there's obviously rival newspapers in New Fair. Like you're not you don't work for the only kind of place that gets the news. And you recognize the individual as Booker Davis. Booker Davis is a reporter that works for one of your competitors, but he appears to be on the scene with no camera. He is an investigative journalist, so he is very much someone who kind of long cons a story. And so
Right.
he's here and he's taking notes. So it seems, and it does look like he just finished talking with a couple of the witnesses.
Mhm.
I ask Pearl if she was there and like watched the whole thing happen, or did you just like happen to see like a bunch of people yelling like and run over there? Like, did
Oh,
you see
no.
this woman melt?
Oh yeah, I was there.
So like, did she melt as soon as she walked out on the stage, or did something happen to make her melt?
No, everyone was cheering, and then she just started screaming, and sores broke out. Maybe it was like the energy of the crowd. I don't know.
Did you see?
I was there for the
Sure.
story, really,
Gotcha. But it wasn't like immediately
and then it
put on
became a
this dress.
story.
The story. Okay. Gotcha. Okay.
I think she would go over to the tough guy first, kind of
Mhm.
side-eyeing Booker a little bit as she's walking over there.
Okay. They just kind of look at you. They don't really engage with
Yeah.
you when you kind of approach.
I saw you last night. You guys doing all right? You're looking a little tired.
Yeah, we're just here on the scene making sure everyone's okay.
Everything go all right after?
Yep.
Nothing, no one's strange or anything?
Nope.
Down.
Fair
Um,
enough.
So hold on. You're kind of engaged in the conversation, but you're relatively an aware person, right?
Yeah.
So you notice that the other reporter, Booker, is kind of like moving behind them, and it's kind of like
Mhm.
kind of like don't talk to them. Come over here.
All right. She'll be like, I'll leave you boys to your
Yep.
coffee then.
And
then
so
she'll
he
go
moves
over.
away, like as you're trying to approach him, almost kind of like luring you over to a different section of like the whole space, right?
Mhm.
Okay, that's gonna get annoying. Hold on a second.
Be famous.
My no.
Green screen.
My green screen.
Oh.
You got a shadow. Oh. Ah!
Oh no.
Oh God.
No man behind the curtain.
The illusion is
Not
ruined.
allowed.
So
Wizard
little.
Boss, stop it!
My eye.
Oh my god.
Oh
Oh my god. Undark.
I knew it.
The
Oh, my
Undark was
leg.
green screen.
The
whole
The
time.
whole time.
Ooh.
Or say it like
such good investigators.
say it like the Soylent people. The green screen is
Soylent.
Undark. Okay. So he kind of lures you over, right? And kind of captures you off to the side. We'll get to that conversation in a moment.
Lured you in and captured you. Jeez.
I know, right?
I
I have.
That was some great wording there.
He lures you over and kind of like engages you quietly away from prying ears. Is that better and not as awkward?
Sounds even worse. No.
I get what you mean. I get what you mean.
Oh.
All right,
Did he
great
bring
screen,
candy?
everybody. Thanks for
Here's some
watching.
candy, little girl.
Let her to a white man
It
in the
takes you over to the
corner.
white van and says free candy on the side. It's like,
No
you're
windows.
like,
Yeah,
oh, I don't know what a
Totally
van
normal.
is.
Sorry.
What's a van? I guess there might be like automobiles. I don't
Oh
know.
my
Turn of the
gosh.
century.
Yeah, there are automobiles, but there
No,
was
it's just
like
like-
a van.
It's a 2024 like
Well, it's a
white
Model
van.
T. It could be a
It
Model T
doesn't make
van.
any sense
Yeah.
to be there.
They got the long ones.
I would.
I've seen
it would
one.
probably
I've
be
been
like
in
a
one.
Model A or B.
No,
like
no.
a-
Model T was
The first
like
one.
in the teens.
Yeah, that's what we're at. Turn of the century.
I thought we were like
No.
1907.
No. It's like the the earliest of like pre World War One. I think you got confused
World
because
War One was 1911.
yeah, so it's like pre that. But anyway,
So it's not the 19 teens.
I mean, it's like what?
We already
Anyway.
had the
You know what?
World
If you
War,
gotta be
though.
right,
The Great
if
War.
you gotta be right,
Anyway.
you
This is
can be
after
right.
the
It's
war.
fine. I'm just
We're
gonna
in the teens.
continue
This
on.
is 3 years after
Okay,
the
keep
war.
And
So
going,
there,
the
keep
we're in the
cooler
going.
people, like so
Who
Cat
aren't
and
nerds.
Foxen, the two of you are here. You're on the scene. I've kind of described the situation. There's like the back room connected to the stage, which is like in the school itself. There are the people who are kind of brought along here. There are the toughs. There's the scene as it's being kind of relayed. You would see that the Lightkeeper is kind of in the midst of the space, but isn't really engaging with anything directly, other than like a quick conversation he has with Nicholas. Nicholas is walking around with this the bleed device. It's not historical. It's fiction.
Historical fiction.
It's not that either. It doesn't take place in the real world. So Jonah
Inspired fiction.
going around, Nicholas going around with the scanner. You would note that Javier moves up onto the stage behind the screens, and based on the fact that he's pulling out the containment device, you would understand what's going on there. So what are you two doing?
Me and Javier or Cat?
Not you at all.
Okay.
Foxen and Cat.
Okay.
Not you at all.
Just making sure. Just making sure.
You just wander around with your little thing in your head.
I'm just wondering.
Well,
I followed Javier up there. So
Okay.
I was
His
standing
memory's
beside him.
bad. He's old.
So I assume, like,
Hello.
as Javier's kind of engaging with it, you're kind of just looking down at it, like,
Yeah, I noticed it was glowing. It was starting
Is
to get
Alan-
off bleed. I was like, "Hey,
is Alan a smoker?
yeah."
I presume it's like one of those, like, like he's got the kind of like looking at the mess on the ground. And it's probably, yeah, it's like, okay, well that's a
Nasty.
That's
a thing
fine.
to wake up
Comment.
to.
I make a comment that'll kill you. Like as I'm
Might be.
That'll kill you.
That'll still kill you.
And then Nicholas comes up onto the stage, detecting the bleed.
as I'm picking up the glowing thing, putting
Yeah,
it in
kind of like-
that'll kill you.
Like I said, I've already called out about the dress. Like, what's this made of?
Okay. And then, Kat, are you engaging with anything else that's been mentioned, or are you going up onto the stage with everybody else?
Well, I look over my shoulder to make sure that the little girl being lured over there is going to be safe.
So the guy that's luring her over, he looks like a newsie. Like he looks
Okay.
like he's got like a white shirt, suspenders.
He probably has a press badge too to be
yeah,
able to be
yeah.
there in the first place. Okay.
Well, yeah, he actually has a press badge that's like been kind of granted to him. It looks like by whoever is actually like the school. So Pearl doesn't have like
She doesn't
like
seem
allowances
worried.
are brought here. She just has her standard kind of acknowledgement that she is press, right? It looks like he's kind of gone through the process of getting the okay from the school, but
Gotcha.
not terribly important.
Were there any
Okay.
other people brought in? Just
Did you say the
guards
police
and
was
him.
there too? Or-
So there are people who were kind of brought in to give statements regarding the event last night. So a couple of well-to-do individuals who are kind of like standing nearby, talking to law enforcement. But the expectation was that they were brought here to also get interviewed by the Obscura.
Well,
Sure.
I'm not probably the best person to talk to these well-to-do individuals, so I think I'll probably mosey on up to the stage with the rest of our people.
There's also the
until we
back
get-
rooms as well.
I wanted to ask about that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, where do we know where she came from before she came to the stage?
Yeah,
That
she
was
would
like
have
a
gotten
dressing room or
dressed
something?
in the quote-unquote green room, which was a part of the school.
Why would
Yeah.
want to head there?
Yeah, I
Bobby
guess.
chicken.
We're gonna, since you guys are doing that stuff on stage, Kat, is that something you want to engage with?
Yeah.
I know we all want to do the cool stuff. You just chose different
Not
options.
really. I like have like shitty survey and focus and literally all of that. So I'm like, I'm just standing here going, if I can't fight it, I'm kind of useless right now. Yeah. So, but we
Stand
can,
guard.
we can all, you said, use the bleed detector at any point,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? So we can pull out our own bleed detectors.
Well, it'd be kind of a passing over kind of deal.
Oh,
Or
okay.
You could signal for Nicholas since Nicholas was just scanning. Nicholas could be the one
Okay.
kind of Yep.
That's cool. That's probably what I would do then, because I would think that, let's go. I mean, obviously, we know there's bleed here, so let's go, towards where she came from. Since I did ask the question, I'm like, did she spontaneously combust as soon as she put it on, or did she,
So
take a minute? So let's go over here
you
where
enter
she
into
started.
kind of the side space, and it's a hallway, and there's a number of classrooms kind of present on the side. You are very much looking at the interior of a college. The kind of exit entrance that you're kind of entering into would basically serve as either like a means of kind of entering into the kind of open courtyard, which the fair was kind of set up in, or it could also serve as like an escape if like a fire or something happened inside of the building. But you would see that there is kind of banner set up that notes that Undark and the Radiance company, whatever. You'd see all that. And it looks like it's all kind of near one door, not too far away, probably the closest door to you, and it looks like it's a door to a classroom. As you approach and Nicholas catches up, you kind of look inside the window, because like all those classrooms kind of have like a window viewer in the door, and inside it looks like it's been transformed from what you would expect to see in a classroom to like a makeshift kind of backstage green room. It looks like there are screens. Looks like a couple of them have been removed. You can kind of tell that they're missing. As you kind of open the door and enter in, there's definitely a different kind of smell to the room than you were expecting, and that's also present in the hallway. It's almost like kind of ozony, right? Um, it has um, it just feels strange in here, right? And as you're kind of moving into the space, the two of you, you're not getting any pickups or anything. There isn't any signals or anything. It's just a vibe that's a bit off. You can see that there is a small couch that's been pulled into the space. Seated on it are women's clothing, everything but the undergarments, kind of placed very kind of haphazardly onto the space. Near to where the screens are slash were, a couple of them still remain. Looks like there were more there, but were taken out. There's a wooden shipping crate. It looks like it's been pried open. Um, it doesn't look like there are any contents in the shipping crate as you move over to it. It looks like the shipping crate in question had almost like a fabric, like a soft fabric that was kind of inside of the shipping packing material. Um, on the shipping crate's exterior, it does look like um, it came from a very specific place. Um, bear with me here. Yeah, it looks like it's coming from a small town, not too far from New Fair, and it looks like the sender was the Radiance Corporation. Um, based on the interior, um, you would note that it was probably containing some sort of garment or some sort of simple cloth material. Nothing heavy, like the packing material is not made for that. It doesn't look like. Um, and based on everything you can understand, it looks like this classroom was kind of turned into a dressing room for Miss Montgomery. Um, and based on the crate, it definitely seems like that's possibly where the dress came from. Anything from either of you two in there?
And you said we're
Bleed.
not getting any things on
No,
our bleed detector at all?
not really.
Or
Um,
and do we can we investigate like the box to see if it
yeah,
has
checking the box, checking
beeping?
the fabric. There's no detection. There's nothing that's kind of popping, right? Um, There does appear to be, like, when you kind of are inspecting, I'm assuming with like some sort of, stick or something to that effect, probably not reaching your hand into a crate all willy nilly. But the fabric that was used to kind of wrap the garment, it seems to be just very simple, um, probably like cloth. But when you kind of move it open or kind of pick it up out of the crate to look at it, it looks like one side is very much kind of uh, browned, like there's like a browning to it.
Like it was burnt, or
Not
Or like
so
something
much.
was spilled on it and got dirty.
Mm, it's somewhere in between. It very much looks like it. If you're familiar
Lightly
with like,
toasted.
if you've ever been in like a smoker's house, right?
oh yeah,
There's
yeah.
like a kind of like,
Like a nicotine staining on the
but there's no
wall.
filming or anything. It doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like there's any kind of residue or remnant. It just seems like the fabric on one side of it has been kind of tarnished.
Hmm.
Foul tarnished. Sorry.
No maidens.
Yeah, I killed them all.
maiden.
Or just the one, I
Oh
guess.
no.
Yeah, I'm about to say just one so far.
But I just have to work harder, I guess.
Yeah.
That's what I think about your model whatever conversation.
Model in.
Not bitter. Me not bitter. Okay.
Model in R and S. He was not very good at the alphabet.
Apparently not.
Because the Model A didn't come out till 27, yeah. So I was wrong.
Okay.
You assume they use the alphabet.
So, the shipping container seems to point towards Bitter River, I believe. And I'm looking at my map here. Hold on a second here. Yeah. Bitter River.
Well, is there anything else in the box besides the tarnished cloth? Or like
No.
after we, it's just that's all that's in there. It's just
Yeah,
that.
that's it. It's
Okay.
pretty simplistic. Now you have her like her effects, right? She, a purse is kind of nearby. Looks like there's like a spot where she presumably did her makeup, based on all of the makeup that's around a mirror. um, investigatory work.
I'm not gonna say anything.
You just gotta know about that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? But yeah.
Can Nicholas rummage through her purse to see if there's like any information on, like if she was seeing anyone like that day, or maybe like any information on like who sent her the dress?
Sure. So there's nothing in her purse that really gives away the game or anything. There's no like smoking gun, so to speak. It does seem like the contents of her purse are kind of mundane, really. But yeah, I think I have the. Oh, sorry, the name of the town is. Oh God. I have the handout,
That's
but
a
it doesn't
nice
have
name.
the return. I guess this is kind of. Yeah.
Ah,
Briar green.
The tag that would have been on the shipping container. So on the box that held the dress, there's the shipping label. It's in Mordant Springs, which is in
Yeah.
Riddleborn.
let's see that. All right. So we have a lead.
Let's head there.
Yeah.
Wait, Rotoborn, that's like real far.
Way over in the mountains.
Also, if
Like
no
we
one
got a
is
train.
looking, Nicholas is also going to take some cash from her purse since
Wow.
she's dead, so she don't need it anymore.
That's my man right
Even
there.
the thief isn't even the one taking it.
So that's fine. I'm totally okay with that.
You down on some money? Do you need some help?
I mean, Any little
He
bit
spends it
helps.
all on drinks.
I'm about to say that's what
Ah.
alcoholics do.
Any little bit helps.
Oh, it's all
So I
beautiful.
apologize. The box does, just double checking my notes here. The box does have some bleed, right? And there are spatters on the shipping material that seem to denote that that luminous green dye is kind of present inside of it.
Oh yeah, we're definitely going to check out the place it came from.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
That just doubles it up.
The label, as mentioned, is from Mordant Springs.
Mhm.
It's easy enough to find. It's right there on the box. Um,
Can I pull that like off of it so we have it to
Yeah,
take, that
absolutely.
way I don't have to worry about like remembering the address.
It feels weird.
Cool. Love it.
Like
Like texture weird or like weight
it's,
weird.
It's paper, right? It's like regular kind of just simple paper, but there are like small green spatterings on it, and it has like a strange kind of like almost kind of grimy feel to it.
You about to take some bleed damage?
Great.
Um,
Put some gloves on.
It doesn't seem that the green is glowing.
Oh, okay.
It does seem to be residual.
And then also, can I get something to bring that nasty cloth with? I don't want to touch it.
I would have
to-
followed you in, I guess. Like, I have
Okay,
I don't know
I'd say
that
you
we
should-
would want to put it in the vial with the other stuff, but I mean,
Yeah,
Same
like
thing,
some sort
same
of like
thing.
a paper bag or whatever, like how you collect evidence from stuff, because it's got the whole room has weird vibes, but that is
The vibes are absolutely fucked in here for sure.
all right, fantastic, love that.
Does not pass the vibe check.
I was about to say that.
not the vibe.
Can we put the thing that we got from the container in the vial as well? Like with the dress or no?
So the goop, you mean? So the dye material is kind of splattered on side in the packaging material. It seemed like it isn't as potent,
Oh,
right?
okay.
The dress itself, to kind of give you an idea of how I'm visualizing it, just so you kind of catch it, is have you seen the movie Predator?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the Predator's like blood.
Which
like,
one? The one in New York? The one
Predator.
with
I said
Arnold?
Predator. I didn't say the Predator. I didn't say Predators. I didn't say Predator
Just
2. I
Oh,
said,
Right.
get from the
Alien
chopper!
person.
I said, Predator. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. That can go on for 10 to 20 minutes. We can't do it. That's not okay. It's not fair to anybody in here.
Everyone is Arnold now.
No, we can't do it.
It kind of glows like uranium glass, right?
No, yes, but like uranium glass under a black light,
Yeah.
but not
Well,
without a
that's what
black
I
light.
that's what I mean.
Right.
Bread is here.
Yeah, it's very bright. It seems to have its own like incandescence.
So I
Straight up
have
glow
a
stick.
question.
RC
Yeah,
glow.
like
Yeah.
So
That
we're
shit.
taking a part of
But
the
all the
dress,
time.
like a little part of the dress.
That's what I believe.
Is
Javier did, right?
yeah. Is
And a
our
little bit of her
light keeper?
viscera.
Yeah.
Obviously, we can't leave the dress here. It's dangerous.
Yes, that's what I was gonna ask.
Oh,
Is
well,
Put
our
it
I-
back in the
lightkeeper-
box.
There's going to be people to take care of that, I'm sure, right? Like,
Yeah. Like,
We're
is
not
our
taking
light keeper
care of
gonna take the
Yeah.
rest of the stuff that's like radiating bleed?
Lightkeeper's just standing around, like he hasn't done anything.
Shit.
Useless piece of shit. All right.
Or the most useful.
I mean, ask
oh my
him.
god.
Do we
That should've
need
been
to
good
like?
too.
But yeah, I guess ask him if we can.
Do we need
Have all
to
of this.
do something with it? I mean,
Yeah.
what do you mean
Did-
have all of this? We don't have anything to put it in safely.
No, like have
We
all
have
of
the
this like
container that it
disposed
came in.
of or like something.
So
like
who's
we
talking
need to.
to Jeremy?
I guess
Here.
I will.
Okay. Javier, you walk over. You have the containment capsule. He
Yeah.
says, so I'm presuming that it is correct that she is exhibiting a great amount of bleed.
Yes, she's. It would appear so.
It appears
Why
there.
are we here?
And we have a like.
Well,
Sorry.
just keep in mind,
Yes.
one point and one distinction I want to make sure that's clear, and I may be falling or flying right over your head. He said she. He is not aware of the dress circumstance.
Oh. Well, I mean, it appears that she was contaminated with bleed, but not that it came from her. It definitely came from the dress that is over there shining like a light bulb.
We'll need to get that out of here. Okay.
And
Absolutely not a
we
problem.
went to the room where she got dressed into that dress, and we have an address. How many words can I say dress? How many times can I say dress in a sentence?
Kind of
There's the
kind of
address for the dress.
have, I believe, Catherine kind of pop out the address. He'll very quickly kind of take a gander at it and kind of nod. And so this exchange is kind of happening, and you're kind of going into the space, coming out to talk to him, starting that conversation. At about the same
I'm
time
stealing the
that
money.
Pearl walks over to the Tufts, has that kind of discourse with them, and then moves away. Once Booker has you kind of off to the side, he says,
That he lured you into.
don't talk to them. They work for the corporation. They're not going to help you at all."
I was just being nice and checking in on him.
Yeah, well, I don't suggest talking to them at all. They're probably tailing you as we speak. You were the one at the scene of it last night, weren't you?
Yeah.
I've been hoping to get in contact with you. Yeah, great. So do you have a story running? Do you got all the details already heading to the paper? Can I just pick it up there, or do you have anything you're keeping off the tabs? I mean, I know you don't have any reason to share information with me, but I guess I don't have any reason to share information with you either.
Fair enough. I have my own story that I'm planning on sending in. Haven't wanted to make sure that I had all the information here.
How long you been tailing them?
Well, since the incident.
Oh, just last night?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Whoa. Um,
You've been on this longer?
maybe. He kind of shrugs. I thought you'd have more information than that. Okay.
I've been a little busy writing articles.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
She just felt it last night.
So I've been trying to.
Has this happened before?
I've been trying to get some more information on them, but I haven't had time or the money to head over to where they're based out of. But I know where they go, or where they are at, over in Morden Springs. It's over in the Barrelborn area. So they've been trying to push this material for a while. This isn't the first time it's been seen in New Fair either.
I did think it seemed a little familiar,
Well, yeah.
but it wasn't as spectacular as last time. So I don't think it really struck my radar.
This is the first time I've ever seen them do it on a dress or clothing of any kind, but they've been making all sorts of different effects, selling them in town, and I first caught wind of it about a month or so ago, and some folks who bought some things got sick, and I did what I could to, investigate into it, but then the corporation came in town, took everything away from the victims, and they wouldn't talk to me anymore after that.
But they're still around.
Oh yeah, sure, but I'm assuming they got paid off, lips tight.
Neuralized,
Yeah, neuralized them.
Uh,
This is actually Men in Black. We're playing Men in Black now.
The early days.
I forgot to tell you, Jeremy, well, is being cast by, oh God, Tommy Lee Jones.
Oh my god.
He's not that old.
You got reprimanded by Tommy Lee Jones for not locking that door. Damn. Ruined.
So I'm heading over. I've managed to save up a bit of money, and I'm heading over. Thinking probably tomorrow. I've been trying real hard to get as much information as I can, but I was really hoping, your paper had some information as well. But just last night, that's the first you've heard of this?
Yeah, I hadn't really paid attention to it before. I'm usually more on the crime side of things.
That makes sense, I guess. Okay, well, I mean, the more eyes we can get on this, the better. So I'm very thankful, and I've given you a bit of information. Um, I mean, that's where they're at, and that's what I'm hoping to do. I'm thinking about leaving tomorrow and seeing what I can't figure out about the town. Um, Morden Springs. I've never been. I know the Scarlet Wood is popular. uh,
I think it would be funny, like have us wrap up like with the like the guy and just like as like walk past her and it's like we're going to this place right now.
Yeah. Hey, we got an address just when we walk by her.
He, well, you obviously don't want to,
Yeah,
tip your hand to an
Yes.
outsider.
I know, but it would just
we
be
know.
hilarious. Like
Yeah,
the thing he tipped us off on, we already knew, but
Yeah.
he,
Thanks, buddy.
yeah. Again, she knows it now too. And if you hadn't investigated the room, then if she'd gone on stage and, anyways, so he says, that's where I'm gonna go and check. I'll probably be back in a couple of days. I don't think I'm gonna stay out there that long. I don't have enough money to keep out of the city myself for too terribly long. But if you find out anything more about it, he kind of pulls out his journal, um, jots something down real quick on a page, and then tears the page out and hands it to you. It's an address. It appears to be an address in New Fair. He says, "This is my address. If you can just send whatever information you got, and if you need any information, just put a request in there, and I'll get you the information I can when I can."
I'll try and give you any information that I have as well. And then she'll kind of look in her bag and she'll pull out a photo. I already have a second copy of this that I have for the paper. She'll hand it over.
Oh wow! He kind of like pulls it out. I'm assuming it's in like kind of like a Manila or kind of foldery kind of folder or not folder envelope. My brain dumb.
Yeah.
He kind of pulls it out real quick and takes a gander, kind of shuts it. Um, at that moment, you realize that you're not like. When he pulled out the photo, that didn't seem to be something that was done very stealthily. Like he kind of just did it haphazardly. And you'll notice that the tufts are kind of looking over in your direction now, kind of curiously. He kind of looks to you, and I mean Booker kind of looks to you and says, "Okay, great. This is really helpful. And yeah, Morden Springs. That's got to be where it's happening. I'm gonna go check it out. You should
Just
too.
be careful.
I'm gonna try." Um,
He's gonna die. No.
Red flag.
He about to get beat.
Be careful. Oh,
Yeah.
real quick though,
Those tufts.
they're gonna have him in a green dress next.
give me
Green
a
body
read
bag.
roll.
Okay.
Oh, her. Okay.
Mhm.
Oh shit.
Sorry, I had to.
I'm real good at those. Wish it was me.
I'm pretty good too.
You're
You can
reading.
again. You can. Oh, that's fine. I was gonna say you can push as well. That's a other option. But real quick, so you haven't pushed, so there's no reason to take your gilded die. So you're gonna take the mixed success bit.
We're talking about drive?
Drive.
Oh.
Did I say push?
Yeah.
Yeah, drive. Sorry, I'm trying to like obliterate automotives from my brain. So I don't want to fight about it.
You're
The
not
word
doing a very
drive.
good job.
The word drive's annoying now.
Sorry.
Because cars do it.
I'm sorry.
I'm just teasing. I'm doing a bit. So it makes success. So you kind of get this vibe, like even though he was very forward with you and kind of open seeming with you, that he's not really telling you everything. And the other thing you notice too is it seems like he might have been trying to keep you away from the guys. Like the
Hmm.
whole point of the kind of pull you to the side and kind of like tell you stuff to keep you interested here for a little bit was to kind of keep them away from talking to you for whatever reason. So that's
Right.
what you get with that 5 that I assume you took.
Hmm.
Yeah, because
Is
you
that
only
why
get
he's broke?
yeah.
He paid them off.
Well, you don't know
Kidding.
exactly what, and I won't say exactly what. Okay, so then just about then, as you're kind of moving away from him, and he's kind of moving away from, kind of going towards the stage, but he's stopped by the light keeper, and the light keeper kind of quickly defers him away. And at about that point is when they come over and start talking to him. You see kind of like a piece of paper brandished by Catherine. Conversation happens. You're kind of walking over as they kind of turn to talk to you, and then there's kind of like a passing of notes. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Okay. So once we're all on the same page, the lightkeeper kind of strokes his chin. Interesting.
Hmm.
So do you think we should head that way, or you
Yes.
presume there's more to learn here?
I think we
And
got everything here we need, but
have we talked to everyone here? Pearl, you're good at getting information out of folks.
Um, well, I've done my best with the t those tough-looking guys over there, but I think they're just being tight-lipped. Uh, were there any other? There were other witnesses around there too, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and is there anyone else from the corporation there? Or
No.
like the guy who was presenting?
No.
Oh.
Yeah. It's very much just a couple of people who were in the crowd,
Hmm.
the cops, the hired muscle, presumably hired by the corporation, um, but you don't have a confirmation on that. And then the reporter still kind of lingering on the sides, but has been given less of a opportunity for clearance now that the lightkeepers noticed him.
Mhm. Um, I think I'd go over to the police
Okay.
then. Um, excuse me.
Yeah.
I was just wondering if there were anyone snooping about that shouldn't be after the thing. I'm writing
Uh,
an article, you see.
oh no, yeah, I know why you're here. Kind of nods his head. Yeah. No, not really. Just those folks. Points to the muscly dudes. But I think they're supposed to be here. I think they work for the company.
Do you know that for sure?
Uh, Pretty
Or,
sure. I mean, I haven't asked them for their IDs or nothing, or
I
their
mean,
pay
that's
stubs. Yeah,
I love it.
they're how much they're
Sorry.
getting paid, right?
yeah, yeah. I'd probably get really mad about it. They're probably getting paid more than me.
Well, thank you for your time. Just wanted to make sure that there wasn't anyone snooping about
Yeah.
that shouldn't be.
Can you do me a favor? When
Absolutely.
you get a chance, just tell your friend there. Points towards the lightkeeper. When you're done, you're done. I mean, just we got to close up the crime scene here, and we'd like to be done with it. It's kind of a hassle to keep it up until morning, keep it available till morning, and we did that. Captain told us to. Had no choice in the matter, but yeah, whatever department you folks are working for, hopefully you get your information and solve your crime. But this is a school.
Of course. Just making sure that we get everything before, close everything up. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for keeping this open for us. we'll try getting out of your hair pretty quick.
And can I let these folks go?
Um,
I would be like, yes.
I think
I think we're
so.
about done here.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
mean, I was there, so I saw it.
Thanks, folks, for coming out. And he just starts talking to them, like kind of
Yeah.
moving past you.
So,
Uh,
can I go try to talk to these tough-looking dudes?
Uh, they're not going to be terribly forthcoming, and if the witnesses are basically leaving the scene, they're also kind of maneuvering away. What you'd be able to notice is they were basically like standing around in a very intimidating fashion, which you recognize as like kind of like a strong arming technique, right?
mm.
So like as they're moving away, the people who were witnesses, they're kind of just moving away too.
Oh, so you're like hurting them.
No. What I
No,
mean by the strong arming bit is like the
He's gonna
promise,
be like, say anything, you die.
the
Yeah,
promise
that's
of a
what
threat. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was meaning. I'm
You
like, okay, I'm
saw
like,
nothing.
I will hit you with my
I thought you
shepherd's
meant
hook.
that like they were just gonna be like, get him. I was like, no, that's not what I meant.
Staring him down like,
Yeah, it's a stare down for sure.
Strong
Yeah,
arm. Just
don't
grab
say-
it out. Ah.
don't say anything or you'll die.
So, the lightkeeper, once he kind of musters you again, he'll say, "If we're done here, I have a few concerns. I'm genuinely interested to know if this is possibly related to the eons or not, and I definitely am not 100% certain. A travel outside of the town, or outside of New Fair, won't be terribly hard to facilitate if that's what you wish to do. I feel like the primary lead that we have on this material, this Undark, would be just that.
Yes.
Like that's where it's leading.
Let's go.
We could leave right now. It probably would be the case that we arrive there in the evening, or we can leave in the morning. It's entirely up to you.
What are we gonna do about the scene here? We can't just let them.
Alan's
handle
already
the,
gone and got the
stuff.
box out of the back room. He's bringing it to the stage.
We got
Go.
these bleed contaminated objects.
Yeah.
What do we do with this? How do
Yeah,
we get rid of
containment.
this?
I have already put in a request for others to come and contain what we do not. If there's anything you in particular wish to have upon our persons, just for examination, um, absolutely just tag it, and we will make sure that we get it to where we need to put it. Um, regarding the dress, is there anything else that we can learn from it? Do you think?
I don't know. That's a very large amount of, like, I guess what is the word? I guess bleed coming off of it. I don't know. Much more than we've seen.
And you said that it was also the case that the coloring inside of the shipping container was also exhibiting a bit of that as well. I think it's safe to say that the source of this pigment is what we are after. Is that fair?
I think so. Davis was telling me about how he's been looking at this for about a month or so. And
Who is that now? And he kind of looks around. You kind of do one of those kind of like, I'm going to point him out situations, but he's not there.
yeah. Oh.
It seems like after the people left, he kind of left too.
Journalist that familiar with.
No, the guy I pushed away from entering the scene. Ah, yes. A comrade of yours or a coworker?
He's from a rival paper, I'd say. But he had some interesting information month or so ago. Some people got sick. It didn't say what product it was. But seems the corporation took those out. If people are getting sick just from using these items and wearing them, I'd imagine whoever's making them is also getting sick, yeah?
That makes sense, yes.
And the victims, they were presumably paid off. I don't know, obviously, who they were.
Sounds like Eon's tactics.
Yeah. over to the mentioning that. It's like, yeah, that's seems to be their tactic for sure. Um, I vote we leave now and spend the evening in the town. Um, see what we can discover from the town itself while we wait to go visit the corporation in the morning.
Okay. I'll go ahead and secure passage then on the first train out, available to us this afternoon. You might as well accompany me. It may be immediately after I put in the request for ticket purchase. Is there anything that you wish to do besides? Again, as I mentioned, Javier, we will make sure that everything that needs to be contained is contained, taken to the Obscura's primary headquarters. Looks over at you, kind of like, I understand now. Yes.
Alan looks over and slaps her hand down. Like, "Stop that."
I do want to make sure you understand something, though, Pearl. We are not in a situation where I'm only considered a superior to you to people that I speak to. When I'm engaging with you on a mission, I do not expect any kind of deference or any kind of formality. You are a circle and you've worked well together for some time. I am a newcomer to your circle, and I simply wish to guide you in the matter. You can speak freely, is what I meant by my statement.
I just didn't want to interrupt you.
You do understand
calm
that
it in the
raising
corner.
your hand in the midst of discourse is an interruption in itself.
Well, that was what we were taught in school, so just trying to be polite.
Fair enough.
Is it all right if I submit my article to the journal, because I probably need to get that before too long, so it can be ready for the evening paper?
Well, I think it would have already been submitted, right? So you would have submitted it last night.
Well, she would have submitted the general one, but not the big one.
Oh, yeah, I know. And that's the one that's going to be put on the evening paper, right? So keep in mind, it's not immediate. This isn't the internet.
No.
Yeah.
I know.
Right.
This is the morning still.
Oh,
yeah.
It's mid-morning, sure. Or
Yeah, so she could get it in. Like, if she runs there, she could get it in for the, like, late evening paper.
if
Would you not have done it before you came in? Was that not what
She
you were
didn't
doing?
know she had
She
permission.
wanted it,
Oh.
that too, and she wanted more information to make sure she had all of it before she
he
did
would
the
say,
big story.
I think the more general story is fine. If you feel like it's necessary to post the more detailed story, I can't stop you. If it is an issue for the society, then we'll get back to you. I suppose it's, in my opinion, I don't wish to preview your work and inhibit you from doing your job. But I must make sure
Not
you understand.
mentioning the bleed part.
Right. I'm not the person that would be the one who could okay it. So I would say that it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission.
Javier being impatient about getting to the next step is like, I need to learn more. We need to be there immediately.
I just want to make sure I have my weapons ready to go.
I will leave you behind.
I will pull this whole ass train as my character gear. I don't give a shit.
We
Pulls out
are
a
leaving.
jetpack and just flies away.
Fucking rad.
Saw this at the invention thing.
Saw this in the tent over there. Sing it,
I'm
suckers.
That's
I'm
why he
Tony
had to
Stark
work
now.
last night.
Yeah.
He had to be able to afford the jetpack.
So he will, if there's no, like, he's fine with that. It's on the way, what have you. That's fine. He doesn't mind, but he's not going to, like he said, he's not going to put any inhibitions on your work. He expects you to be able to kind of moderate that yourself. If it's a problem, then we'll discuss it once it is. He's not a
Oh.
micromanager.
Hell yeah.
That's not his leadership style.
Alan's the questioner though. He's gonna be like, "Didn't you say they like paid off people to not post stories?"
Not us. It wasn't us. It was the corporation that
I
were.
haven't paid
Yeah, but I don't
Going to
think
explore.
I don't think they'd take kindly to that.
It sounds
What
like
are
a
they
good
gonna do?
payday to me.
We're going to investigate them further.
Yeah, but say she'd be like,
They're
"Wait,
already
you got
going to want to
anybody
kill
here?"
us.
The payday to me.
So when he gets to, he's going to kind of maneuver out of the college area and move towards the ticketing booth for the train. And obviously, it's not a situation where you have trains kind of immediate, kind of running. It's very much a situation where the evening train will be the train we're going to have to take because the morning train has already left. Um,
So while we're waiting, could I consult the arcane texts to see if I could find any apparition that causes boiling or like
melty blood.
yeah, pretty much yeah.
Yeah, that's a function in the game. It doesn't require a roll,
I
does it?
sure hope so. I think like
No, you're doing it real loud.
to get more than like base information, I think it requires a roll.
It requires a what roll?
Oh, I want to say between focus and sense,
Okay.
maybe.
I'm gonna look. I am going to, since you're kind of directly engaging with like the archives, I'm gonna say that focus is the role I want, but I
Okay.
want to give you a bonus.
Um,
That's kind of
okay.
in part to it. When you click focus, I'm
Mhm.
gonna say that you're gonna have an additional dice,
Oh shit. Okay.
and you can't. And
Um,
that's just one free additional dice without having to drive.
yeah.
If you wish to drive, you can
I mean, it's already three dice. I
roll it
don't
then.
think I can do. Yeah, I'll do-
And so while Nicholas is consulting the archives,
Voice.
got two sixes.
and you're kind of waiting for the train, right? Like you know when the train's going to be. The train's probably going to be in the evening time. So Pearl's already stated her intent. She wishes to go to the uh, yeah,
The
and
printer.
then right, Catherine. Do you have any?
Like I said, I think I'll probably just run to the house, make sure that I get,
Did
make
your
sure that.
your levels went down? I'm sorry, I can't hear
Oh,
you.
oh, I'm
A little
sorry.
better. Yeah, there's better.
Let me just shove it in my mouth
Yeah,
here.
that
Ah,
works.
I try to move it away because my cat gets up here, then she like bumps it, and everybody's like, "What's that?" Oh man.
It's okay. So was
Um, what am I doing? Um,
yeah.
so I want to just go make sure that I've got everything packed for a fight, I guess, because I mean, I know that my gear options are, explosives and hand weapon and stuff like that. So I kind of just want to be ready,
Yeah,
drink
and
me some coffee.
it sounds like based on the travel time, which again you're going to be leaving around 6ish. It's probably going to be the case that you arrive in the town um, like past sundown. So it'll be the case that you'll probably be staying
Yeah,
out
yeah.
there,
So just kind of
or
packing up, getting prepared for an overnight stay, and then our visit tomorrow.
cool.
Character's pretty lame.
What's
Sorry.
Alan doing?
Uh, First of all, he's gonna go back to his house and he's get his little burgle kit,
Okay.
and he's gonna go around and ask some of his little shady friends if they know anything about this illumination. What was it? Uh, what was that company's
Radiance
name?
Corporation.
Radiant Corporation. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. And then that's sorry, Javier. What are you doing? Oh, you just waiting for the train, right?
just waiting for the train.
Just standing there,
He's
like
sitting there reading
chomping
a
at the
book.
bit.
He sat down on the bench right there.
He
Pulled a
ready.
book out.
I mean, I'm assuming that he probably pops into the bar actually too, like because he wants to know as much as he can about it. So it's probably the case that like once they get the dress moved, he asks them to move it to the bar's back room and kind of examines it a bit as well, right?
Like
Not
a plan.
not damaging yourself or anything. Okay, so go ahead and you can make me a I'm looking for a type of roll. You are.
Inspecting or analyzing?
Yeah, it's focus.
That's focus.
Focus.
Ow! Would you stop? I'm gonna. Boop. No, wait. I wanna. How do I? Oh, sorry. Wow.
Ooh.
Not
All
great.
twos.
Ooh.
Bunch of
Um,
twos.
not great. Um, okay. So in the examination of the dress, and again, I want to be sure because I kind of pushed the idea on you. Are you okay with your failure causing a measure of problem for you?
Or
Okay, because I kind of foisted it on you a little bit. I don't want to. I don't want you to feel like okay. So, as you're examining the dress, you do glean a piece of information from it, however, at a cost. It is not a success because you did not learn everything you could, but you definitely contaminated yourself a bit with the material. The thing you learn is that the pigment is not fully dry on the garment. It seems that it has a bit of juiciness to it. Um,
juicy.
it's not leaking, it's just a bit of dampness to it. There's a moisture that's present.
Moist, if you will.
Moist is a great word. But it does
Oh,
touch you. Um, and
it
it's
touched you back.
it's kind of an immediate situation. Like it hits, and you kind of realize it, and you kind of look
No
down at
means
it,
no.
and very quickly kind of like throw your hand down, throw the tool you were working with down, kind of looking at the mark on your hand, and kind of maneuver to kind of like get it clear and clean. And so what this will actually do is this will cause you to have a mark on
Ooh.
bleed.
Okay, doke.
Gross. You got COVID-18.
It seems like when it kind
Code
of
one.
touches you, right? It feels like your hand is like asleep for a second, and like once you got it cleaned off, like with water, kind of washing it in the back room there, where they do dishes, right? Not too far from where you're at. You kind of wash off your hand, but you kind of still feel the lingering pain. It remains. Like at first, it felt like your hand was falling asleep, and now it feels like there's just sharp needles all throughout your like forearm, your wrist, your hand, and this is like your primary hand. So it's kind of like, you're every so often you're just kind of like nullifying the pain by like grasping and flexing to try and mitigate the feeling, right?
I would stop and take detailed notes of
The pain.
my body's reaction to it.
Yeah, and that's basically you kind of in the back room, kind of like doing that, and then very carefully once you feel comfortable, right? Once you kind of like got your notes taken, your hand doesn't feel as like tortured, still a bit, but like not as bad from the initial. You do everything you can to reseal the bag as it was given to you, and basically set it aside so no one else has to suffer the same repercussion.
Does he take a body or bleed mark?
Bleed mark. So contamination specifically works towards bleed.
Would I be with him?
No, you're in the archives. The archives are
Okay.
somewhere else.
Just making sure. Just making sure.
And we'll get to that. So you are engaged in study. You are looking everywhere. You are doing everything you can to remember what you know, right? And this seems to be a situation where, like, direct melting? No. But similar kind of pains can be exhibited, right? And you're studying what you know, and you can kind of recall that there are primordial creatures, right? Things that can basically shade themselves or kind of conceal themselves. These primordial predators that have very potent venom. And the venom is basically super necrosis, right? It's you get impaled with the venom of the creature, either by stinger or fang, and it would basically like burn at the flesh, but it was never so potent as you were kind of noting from this dress. But the only thing that seems to match up is a primordial creature, like a primordial, like hunter, stalker, predator, um, and its venom is the only thing that can kind of even close to mirror this. And your presumption is that it must be insanely potent amount of that venom if it's able to do that to one woman. Fair. Does that make sense to you, Jonah?
Yeah.
Okay. So as you're kind of studying and you're kind of like writing down the notes and you've got like all the detailed drawings of all the different primordial like creatures with names, obscura, and you've got that all written down, you kind of like pull out your pocket watch and kind of look at it and realize, oh shit, and kind of get up and start kind of moseying on down that way. Um,
Oh god,
cutting,
I'm gonna be late again.
cutting from you. I just wanted to double check. So Catherine's just gear getting, and Alan is trying to like figure out what he can about the Radiance Corporation. Okay, so we'll do that one. Like you kind of go to your contacts. You kind of like go to a bar. Like after like lunchtime, right? Lunchtime rush. You got the fish and chips kind of out, and you got your beer. And you're kind of drinking it, like talking to the lads. Just ladding it up, lads. And the only thing that you're able to kind of get from anybody really regarding Radiance Corporation is they haven't been around too long. They have an unknown benefactor that kind of put a decent amount of money into them, but there's no understanding as to who that is. And they're mainly based in the Scarlet Wood, or kind of over in the Brittleborn, like in that direction. Um, there's a pretty wide presumption that some of the stuff that they send in is also it's got stuff that's coming in from the Scarlet Wood that shouldn't be kind of coming in. Drugs, wink, 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 right? Um, but there's no confirmations. It's never been like confirmed by anybody or anything. They are still in business. They've been working hard at kind of bringing themselves out, and like these innovative kind of tactile or textile kind of things like dyes and the like are the main thing that you seem to be kind of getting from them. Like they have like bright red dyes, and this bright green dye is a more recent kind of addition. um, and you've probably heard just like very like in this conversation like rumors that kind of hint at or kind of are pointing towards what Pearl learned from Booker, right? These mentions of, oh, I heard about an old lady who bought a tea set, and it was bright green and wonderful. It was supposed to be some sort of like healing properties to it, and she got really sick. But I don't know anything about it besides that. She might have died, says another guy. I think I heard she died, and then another person says, "Oh, I don't think that's it," and then like, not a lot of like concrete, like I can tell you who the old lady is or anything, just more like a blabbering on of rumors regarding the presence of the Radiance Corporation a month or so ago. Any other direct questions that you want to ask regarding the matters? No? Okay. Lads, beer, fish and chips, fish and chips.
Cheers! I gotta go.
I got a train to catch.
Oh, it's Final Creek.
So,
I also should probably let like my team, like my military unit,
yeah, absolutely.
know that I'm leaving town, and will return, but like I'm not going to be currently in town, and should let them know.
Yep, and they're okay with that.
Extended leave.
So, Pearl, you get to the printer, and before you get there, we haven't really discussed much about anybody's kind of job environments. Obviously, it's a bit nebulous. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the ball to your court. Who would be your direct report, like your boss?
Um, like a name
Like just a,
or
if you
just
want to
like a
give them,
general?
if you want to give them a name, sure.
Um,
I see a subtle hint there, Foxen. J. Jonah Jameson. That's great. When life gives you lemons.
you know, I mean, probably would be an old man. Um, uh, sure.
J. Jonah
Be his
Jameson
name.
X.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Jameson.
Uh, but
Simon.
she'll probably report to him, and I imagine she's more
Oh,
of like
oh
not
no
like
no no
an
no.
in-house.
Well, I wanted the name not because you're reporting to him, because he's cutting you off. Like he's going to find you when you enter into the space.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Um, so go ahead with your. You said you were expanding upon it. I kind of wanted that bit.
Oh, okay. I imagine that she's not like an in-house reporter because like
Freelance.
freelance, yeah.
But she's kind of tethered to this one quite a bit.
Yeah, like she kind of like told them like as long as like they're still accepting her stories and not just like completely cutting her off,
Mm-hmm.
um, or like undermining her in any way,
Oh, we're about to see
she's
that
like
happen.
dedicated to oh no. She's kind of dedicated to this one, but she immediately go to somewhere else if,
For sure.
you
So
know.
he kind of finds you, like as you're kind of making your way towards the printer, he kind of cuts you off, like as you're kind of entering into the space, moving through, like their offices or what have you,
Mm.
and he goes, "Hey, hey, Pearl, can I talk to you for a second?"
Sure, what you need?
Yeah, I just wanted to apologize. We weren't able to run your story that you put in last night. The reason for it is we actually got a story from one of our own journalists regarding the matter, and we went ahead and decided to go with that one instead. Put that forward. Now I'm
Were they
thinking,
there?
huh?
Were they there?
So no, yeah, I definitely saw that in your story that there was a on the site information there, and that was very important to me. But at the same time, um, kind of looks around, and he looks over and sees like an office space, and he's kind of gestures towards it, like to enter into it. He lights a cigarette and kind of walks into the office and closes the door, and he says, "Look, I'm going to be honest with you. You don't technically work for us, right? But you've been really good, and I feel like a lot of your work is very thorough. And if if you ever wanted a job here, like full time, um, I could make that happen. Um, but what I would need you to do is maybe not ask any questions regarding us not running that story from last night. Okay? It's
You're not using my pictures or anything, right?
no, yeah,
Can I have those back?
yeah, sure. You can pick them up at the printer, and I do want to make sure you understand. Just because we didn't run it, we're still going to pay you for it, and you
Oh,
can have it
good.
back. That's fine too. So I just want to make sure that's clear. Yeah, we're going to pay you for it. Um, uh, but the main thing is
Who threatened you?
Right.
I
Who
can't.
hurt you? Where'd they touch you?
Well, if you ask him that question, but actually, that's really good. Go ahead and roll a read. And if you hold on,
Oh,
okay, so we're
oh.
not paying attention to that roll because we need to make sure we understand the mechanic because like I think we're skipping it a lot, and it should
I
be.
asked about it before.
I know, no, the drive, right? So drive is the thing I'm kind of focusing on. So
Oh, I
how
still
you
don't know
deal
how
with
that
drive,
works.
like, and I explained it before, but I didn't explain it like in something of import like this. So up at the top there, you should have drive. You have no
Like
nerve.
the triangle?
No, the little dots next to with the plus and minus sign. Those little blue pips.
Oh,
That's your drive. Okay. Before you roll a dice, you can expend drive and add a dice to your roll. I don't think there's a limit. Is there, Jonah, on drive? You can just throw it all into one roll, or
Yeah, you can throw as many drive as you have for that, like intuition or whatever,
right.
into that roll
In
if you
addition
want.
to that, for read, you have it gilded, which if you push yourself with drives and you get a good result on your gilded dice, you can choose it, and then you'll get your drive back. You get one drive back when you expend it. So before you roll the dice, when you click it, it'll ask you additional dice, right? And it'll have all that metric there. You need to decide how much drive you want to spend. You're not getting any like environmental benefits here. It's just
Oh, okay, I see. Use drive from, and then it has cunning.
that's it. That's it. That's it.
Okay. All right, I will do that then.
Spending some drive. Okay, we're doing it, folks. We're doing the system.
We're doing it.
We're trying.
Okay, great. So
Hey!
that's super good, right?
Yeah.
So you'll take the 6. You will not regain any drive because you're choosing the 6, not the gilded dice.
Yeah.
Unless you want to choose the 1. Do you want to choose the 1?
No.
Okay, I'm just checking.
Somehow gonna get bleed from talking to this guy. I don't know.
um,
The
he
corporation comes out of the walls.
in his conversation with you here, as he's talking to you, the more you think about it, the more you realize that he's pulled you away from everybody. That's never happened.
Yeah.
He's talking to you in a way that seems like he's trying to give you everything he thinks you want to make sure you're okay with him not running the story. And he literally offered you a full-time job, which is not something that's offered, like, easily.
Yeah.
Just for not talking about this story at all. He is definitely a person who is desperate not to allow this to come out, and your understanding of that with that super critical success is his life is in danger if that weren't the case.
Yeah. Well, she still wants the stuff back just to
Yeah.
cover her ass and make sure no one has it.
He says the printer will have that. Shouldn't be a problem. They should do
All
it.
right.
They should do anyway.
Well, I'll keep the job offer in mind. But I just want the stuff back just that way no one else has it, you know?
Yeah, not a problem. I absolutely. It's all yours.
Thanks.
Okay, great.
And then she'll run off to the printer and grab her stuff, not
So,
submitting it.
The envelope with the pictures doesn't look like it's even been opened, not at once. And the story itself doesn't look like it's been kind of moved from where you left it, which is strange.
That is strange.
Absolutely, yeah.
So it's like they didn't even read it.
Maybe
Beyond like maybe like
the first
they
page.
had like yeah.
Yep.
All right.
And,
she'll take
as you-
note of that, and then
As you're kind of like moving through the space, you can see that the test copies have been kind of set off to the side, and you can see that the wheels are kind of the massive columns of print are printing the newspaper. The newspaper is currently in the run, right? So it'll be done probably around 5, and then the newsies will get a hold of their stacks and start moving it for 6 and 7 o'clock.
yeah.
But you can see that there's a test copy there, like or a print copy already present that you could just pick up and take with you and have it
Yeah.
before it releases if you want.
Yeah. She'll go ahead and grab one of those.
Yep. The cover is what you thought would be a great cover story. Melting woman is not present on the cover. Instead, it is basically glorification of the fair itself. And the stories regarding Undark are all positive. There is no mention of her death other than a note in the obituaries.
I was about to
And
say
it doesn't-
obituaries.
And it doesn't say how she died.
Let's say she
R.I.P.,
passed away
Dira.
unexpectedly is how they usually put
Yeah,
that
they
in
did her
there.
dirty. Not even she had a heart attack on stage or something. Just Nope.
Yeah. Oh no.
Oh no,
I'm just saying.
accident.
They straight up Back to the Future her, like they just gone.
Shit.
So Javier, you probably are the first one back to the train station because you're like raring to go and your hand's still kind of but you get back there, right? Um, you look around um, and are seeing if anybody else is present here or if it's just you, right? But you recognize some folks from this morning, mainly the toughs that we've described a couple times. It's three guys, one kind of slightly larger than the other. It's basically a Three Stooges kind of situation here, right? Except they're all like muscle bound dudes. Um, you do notice that they're purchasing tickets, and it looks like they're in the line, ticket purchasing wise, to purchase a ticket out of New Fair and headed to the Brittlehorn Mountains. That's the line that they're purchasing for. So,
Take
just
notice, but I mean, I'm not gonna go talk to him.
right.
I don't have a
He's
death
over here like,
wish.
that's nice.
That's nice. I'm just
I
gonna
mean,
avoid
like,
them. I'm
I would just
avoid
kind of
their
like
gaze.
stay kind of back, but watching. I mean, I already have my ticket. I don't have to get in line, so
For sure. Well, yeah, you've got plenty of time as well, so it's no rush either. So you kind of find a nice section of the station where you can basically sit down, have a cup of coffee, eat some pastry or another, or if you're feeling a little bit more peckish, maybe like a sausage roll or whatever. But yeah, that's one thing you notice when
and
you
I'm
get
definitely
there.
sitting where I can keep an eye on them. That they
Yes,
like.
I was gonna ask, is this like a compartment train? Do we have rooms,
Well,
or
we're
is
not
this
on the
like
train
just?
yet. We're
We're
still in the station, right? And so you're kind of like moving to a place that's kind of obscured, but kind of center enough, like in like a small little series of tables and chairs. Those like nice little metal ones, with like
Bistro table.
yeah, bistro tables, but kind of like indoor stuff, right?
Hmm.
And so you're kind of seated, keeping an eye over where they're at.
He's pulled out the newspaper. He's glancing over it.
They seem to
I'm
move.
not suspicious.
They seem to move over to kind of like a more common area where people are just sitting with their bags and such. And again, everybody seems to in that kind of area has like baggage, right? They're going to be going to a totally different town in the evening, arriving in the night, right? And then will presumably be staying there and have accommodations. These guys don't have any bags or anything. So if they're going there, like it seems like they're probably already familiar with there.
And I'm sure Catherine would be the next person to show up. I
Yeah,
would just make sure, like, she would probably see me,
and like
and
I
I would
mentioned,
just like
the bags,
gesture.
she's got them.
Yeah, and I would, I would like gesture, like nod my head and like just kind of make sure that she's aware that they're here too.
I'm thinking it's like one of those big soldier bags, like the big
Absolutely,
old.
that's what I
Yeah.
was thinking.
I've got, and I've got just like a little doctor bag.
That is exactly what I was thinking.
Hell yeah, and it clinks and kind of like clatters a bit when you kind of throw it down. Like there's
And I
guns
just
in
kind of
there.
like glance at you, like,
We have to kill the whole town. We have to kill the whole town.
We have to kill them all.
Brett, where are you? We're burning a town down, man.
Brent, get in here.
Gotta get in here.
did you leave anything behind?
The kitchen sink wouldn't fit.
Well, can't be helped.
Shame.
They'll probably have one there. That's fine.
Oh,
Oh.
okay.
Why did the mention of a sink? The first thing that popped in my head was stupid Elon Musk.
Oh,
Let
no.
that sink in. That was where my brain went.
Elon Tusk. Elon
Let that
Tusk.
sink
Elon Tusk.
in.
Yeah, that's the character I'm gonna make up for this. He's a old timey snake oil salesman. Okay, so
Yeah, perfect.
you arrive, toss the bag down. Everybody kind of collects. So Alan, nothing else before you head back to the train station or head to the train station for the first time.
Nope.
and you pick up the paper, Pearl, as you're kind of on your way out. You kind of tuck it away very quickly because you know you're probably not going to. They're not supposed to be walking away with it.
Yeah.
Once you get outside and you're kind of maneuvering, you kind of pop that bad boy open and take a gander, and then you kind of read what you read. There's a passerby who says, "Hey, where'd you get the new paper? I haven't seen anybody dropping them down yet. Where are the no newsboys?" You just ignore him and walk past.
Oh, this
Yeah,
is the
she'll-
old paper.
Quickly fold it up and be like, "Oh, sorry, misprint,"
Oh, okay.
and then she'll like look at
Towards the train station.
yeah.
Okay, and last person there will
You
be.
got a skill in booking it. That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
Will be Nicholas. I would say that in between Alan and Pearl is when Jeremy will arrive. He'll hand you your tickets first thing. You'll see that when he comes in, he has a suitcase, and he kind of sets that down in the chair next to you, Javier, and then hands you your ticket, hands Catherine her ticket, kind of holds the other tickets up and kind of looks to you, says, "Hope everybody's here on time." Oh, and then Alan kind of, is there, hands the ticket over, and then eventually Pearl arrives. It seems to be kind of like a checking his watch, tapping his foot situation for Nicholas. But he arrives with enough time that it's not like a problem. And yeah, the whole time you're kind of keeping an eye on the larger guys.
I
They
would
don't
mention
really.
to Nicholas, stop making such a scene. There are people. Oh, those people are here. They will think we are following them.
You would have mentioned it to Catherine. Catherine would have basically dead-eye lock on them throughout the entirety of the wait. You kind of move away from the cafe because obviously there's not enough seating for you and your crew, and you're already done with your coffee. So you find a spot that's far enough away from them that you're not going to draw any attention to yourselves, but close enough that you can keep an eye on them. And then Alan arrives, then the lightkeeper, then Pearl, and then Nicholas. And you muster and head towards the. Why is my brain not working?
The
Where
train.
Where do trains come in though? Terminal?
The station.
Station?
Station,
Train.
terminal, yeah.
What-
Train station.
Yeah, well, right, but like, this is like a big station, right? And they're
Like a
diff-
Union station.
they're like different places where trains come in, right?
Yeah.
That's the way I'm
Uh,
imagining it. Because like this is kind of
Different tracks.
this is where I'm
Yeah.
thinking it's at, right? Like this looks like a train station, right?
What does?
What are you showing?
Yeah,
us?
that's definitely
Oh,
the
yeah.
train station.
Yeah.
I
that
would think so.
I feel like that's the train station, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It has little things coming off
I think
of
they
it.
Like-
probably just call it like track 1, 2,
Does
or
anybody
3.
see
Yeah.
the town for sure, or just the
Like
Bristleborn Mountains,
docks,
right? Like,
I
or
see the town.
where's the town? Ping
no,
it.
not that town.
Oh, the one up, like,
Or the
Up
What do
here
mountain
somewhere.
town.
This is the mountain
oh,
over
so
here.
like,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
I can't see anything
So
past
there's
the
no
mountain.
town that's actually
Right.
marked. It's supposed to
There's
be.
just like
I assume it's where
train
this
to
road
nowhere.
ends.
I actually think it's only
No
supposed
wood.
to be like here-ish, but again, just based on description, I'll have to
I thought
figure
it
out
was
a
in
bit
the
more on
Scarlet Wood.
that.
is it this?
It's not though. I don't think
It's
it is.
not though.
Is it this?
I
No,
don't
that's
Oh, that's
Seaway.
Seaway.
Yeah, that's got a name on it.
Did it say it's past the mountains or in?
No, so it says it's specifically
In the
on
mountains.
the river, right? And that's this one.
Yeah.
Oh, right here then.
Oh.
Right
So it
here.
would be
Yeah.
like
Probably.
Right. Like,
So
I
that
see
train-
I see little dots. Those could be houses.
That train
Yeah.
ride's
Could've
not
just walked
terribly
there.
long.
I was about to say, I could have just rode a horse over there or something.
Yeah.
That's not very
To
far.
walk.
I think it's
Could've
probably going to
walked
be on the
our asses
upside
over
of that.
Here.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
We'll be able to-
we'll figure it out.
We gotta take the train to here and walk through the
That
woods.
looks-
Wait. Pause for
Pause
a
it.
second. We're going into the Scarlet Woods
No,
at night?
no,
Brindleborn
okay.
Mountains.
you shouldn't be.
I was
Okay.
like,
We're
The
taking the
Bridal
train through.
Yeah, I
here.
mean, I was
Figure
about to
it's
say the
safe.
train,
you have
like,
to go through
goes
them.
that
Maybe
way.
to get
there's
to
a different
Bridleborn
river on
Mountains.
the other side of the mountains.
Morden
It looks like there's a
Train.
tunnel right here.
Yeah, where the
There's
train
this-
goes through.
There's this thingy, but
Bear with me here.
It's all the wrong way.
We have
Image.
Who drew this
Could it be
map?
here?
Not me.
Yeah, I didn't draw it. I guess it doesn't really have like a direct location.
Yeah.
So what I'm
Adds
gonna
to the mystique.
I shall draw you a house. This paint tool.
I'm gonna
This-
I'm gonna say that it is. I'll figure
Yeah,
that out
that
later.
makes
You're
sense.
getting on a train. That's the thing. Um, that is what is happening, and
That
we
is a
will determine the
beautiful
destination and how
house.
long it took when we
I
get
feel
there.
like I feel
right?
like that's like going into the Appalachian Mountains at midnight.
I mean, we're at least in a
Be
train.
fine.
Yeah, it's a train.
It's not like we're walking through them
Right,
Fine. This is
Right.
fine.
until
Right.
the
Okay.
train breaks down, or we have a, murder
Well,
on the
it's-
Orient Express.
it's leaving. It's leaving before like nightfall. Right. It's going to be moving for the first few hours in sunlight, the end of sunlight. So it's not like, that crazy. Maybe. Also, we have electric lights. Fuck it.
Okay. Okay.
I hate that you
We
judged me
gonna
as well.
be
This is the
the
second
dog.
person who's judged me on my accuracy, and I still don't know where the fuck this town is. Um,
Wait, who's judging?
You were the first one.
it was you, Elizabeth. It was you.
You're
On
the
the
problem.
town?
No,
No.
on cars, and then
Damn.
fucking Jonah on trains. So planes is the next thing, presumably.
Great.
Wait, we already had that. The jetpack. Son of a bitch. Jetpacks are trains.
Planes,
So-
trains, and automobiles.
Morning-
Yes.
Morning Springs is in Brittleborn, which is on the
Past
other
the
side
Scarletwood.
of
What's
the
that?
mountain.
Okay.
So my presumption is that there is a tunnel here, and we're going to be going through it into
around.
Brittleborn.
Murder
That's
mystery on the train.
Spooky.
Said murder on the Orient Express.
Oh,
And
no.
you burrow.
Okay,
We all did it.
so
We did it. Yeah.
Can I borrow a pistol?
can I borrow a couple?
Don't worry, I have some.
We'll definitely probably need
Everybody,
it.
use all three of your
I'm-
cure options for
I'm
pistols.
I'm paranoid.
It's going by feet. Why are you measuring it?
What? No, I'm just.
Okay.
And we, but we're just
That's
gonna
It's
be
right.
49 feet. That's a very large. That's a very
Yeah, it
short
doesn't
Me
have-
and Jonah.
It doesn't have a scale either. Like, anyway, I'm gonna figure that out. I'm gonna make it my own. It's fine. So, back to it. The train station. You head up to the terminal, like where the train comes in and prepares to leave, and you all board the train in a orderly fashion with your tickets. It looks like the tickets that you've had purchased for you are relatively high class. You will be staying in a car along with other people, but you also have your own individual space for rest, relaxation, and sleep if you so desire. Especially if I metric this being a bit farther than I initially thought. So that's cool. Yeah. The main kind of lounge car that you're kind of seated in, very kind of smoke filled. There's a very small kind of booth area, like a small counter area where there's kind of like a mirrored back wall behind it. A gentleman in kind of a vest and kind of small little like cap, who is serving whiskey to anyone who's so interested in taking it. Also has options for smokable items and articles, and yeah.
So, do we get like our own like little private rooms and stuff, or no?
You have small little like places where you'll be able to sleep. Yeah, that's right.
Okay. I want to take Catherine into like a little private thingy so I can cast a ritual on her.
Sir?
Oh my gosh.
I was like, all
It's,
right.
part, it's my character.
They're gonna take her into this room over
I'm
here.
gonna take her
no.
into this small
Oh,
private
boy.
room.
Crack
and
out the
cast
ritual.
And-
But no, hold on.
Crack
Serious
out the
face.
ritual.
Less weird.
What kind of ritual are you
Back
doing
room,
over
man,
there?
like-
Creepy
Serious
old man.
face.
Here comes the ritual.
Yeah, I know, right? Not what every old man
Ritual.
desires, apparently. So. What you said last time.
What's the ritual?
It's just called ritual.
Weird.
Oh.
Love it.
All
Well, no, no.
right.
Like, what to do? What do you? Is it have a
Oh,
function, or you just?
so I'm going to take a bleed mark,
Okay.
and I'm going to cast the circle of protection on Catherine to give her like it'll soak up one body mark
Cool.
if she ever gets hit with like a body mark.
Sweet. Thank you.
Nice.
Take it's a bleed, right? Yeah, it's a bleed. Okay.
What a guy.
So
Okay.
basically, this shows up, or the bleed kind of takes effect with like, as he's casting it, his skin sort of like burns up a little bit, like his fingertips. They start to sort of like begin to like blacken, almost like charcoal, or like he has charcoal on them, I guess.
Soot.
So that's better.
Okay. So this is not an uncommon practice. You've obviously done this before in your engagements together, your missions before. Um, Perfect. Anybody have anything like because you're just getting situated on the train, it's taking off. Does anybody have anything that they want to do in the car in question? The car in question does not house like where you're staying does not house the three muscle folk,
Mm.
um, but it does have a couple of other individuals who are present. Nobody that you were recognizing, though. Or nobody that seems to matter. Just you and the lightkeeper.
Could I, for just in cases, use the bleed detector?
Yeah, absolutely. There's nothing present.
Nothing. Okay.
Are we have we left like the cart that or the cart the room that we were in and gone back to like the
Yeah,
common area?
that was like a
Okay.
quick deal.
I'm like
I
I
would
don't think
say
there'd be
that
bleed in our room, hopefully.
the person that you're kind of catching a little bit of just residue is Javier. There seems to be something about his hand that's a bit off.
Hmm. So yeah, okay. So Nicholas is gonna make this as blatant as possible, and he's gonna look at the detector, and then look at Javier, and then he's gonna be like, "What have you got there?"
I
And I'm just
imagine
like,
like the EMF reader from Phasmophobia, like a 5. That's what I think of when I
And I
think of
just
this
like
bleed detector. It's like
I take off my glove because I'm wearing like gloves to cover like the mark from the uh undark or whatever.
Yeah.
I guess I would probably have similar to like the packing label, like that faded green
Oh, faded green on the hand. Yep.
on my hand, and then I'll just mention that. Uh, I'll say, do you want the full thing? Like I'll hold up my notes, or do you want me to explain it to you?
Um,
and then at
Tell
this
me.
point, like I want to walk over here too and listen and be like, what's going
The
on
substance
here?
that we are investigating is not a solid. It is liquid and can damage us. I don't think this will be permanent. However, it is quite uncomfortable.
I mean, I gathered it would damage us from the melted woman on the stage. What made you decide to touch it?
I would presume that there's an old guy who's like sipping a brandy, like dipping his cigar into the brandy. He's a melted woman on the stage. He goes, huh? Just in the background.
I like we're each other's champions, so now I'm a little upset that my buddy over
No,
here
I'm
is
like,
like got some
it's
green
not.
shit on his hand and he hurts.
It wasn't obvious that
intentional.
the substance was liquid, or not really liquid, but not solid. I don't know a word to use for that.
Moist.
Javier would know a word to use for that, and I don't
Moist.
think moist would be the one he would use.
It's a good word. It's a good catch-all.
It's-
Damp.
Damp.
I was
Damn.
thinking more of like a word for
I guess you could say
Fluid.
just that the dress, what like the substance wasn't dry on the
Gooey.
yeah,
yeah.
You
So
lying.
the
viscous.
substance itself,
Viscous.
that's kind of I guess the word maybe. I don't know. But the Undark itself um, is more viscous than you would think. I don't know. It's was in the dress or on the dress, but that would also explain why it was splattered on the inside of the crate.
Hmm.
And just like that, I think that this will fade over time.
So it's like
Mm.
paint.
Like glow in the dark paint.
Do you mind
Sure.
if I take a look?
What?
Do you mind if I take a look?
Sure. Just hold my
Alright.
arm out to it.
Set the scanner
So-
down, kind of taking
Yeah.
a gander.
I want to inspect it to see if, like, obviously it's not like from the dress because she got melted, but is it having like any
No, it's
effect on his
it's
skin?
It's
from
from
the
the
dress.
dress.
But if
Because
Yeah.
I was experimenting on the dress to find out what I could find.
you
No, I
kind of
meant it's not.
He's
like,
got a little drip on it, not a.
Yeah.
so
he,
if you
he wasn't wearing a swimsuit of this time.
I was very minorly exposed to it, not wearing a dress completely covered in it, so I'm not going to turn into liquid.
if
Yeah.
you do a quick note inspection, and also Javier gives the beats of like the narrative that he wrote regarding his circumstance. Javier is a doctor, and he knows exposure to possibly acidic, possibly kind of detrimental substances requires immediate cleansing, and this
Mhm.
is very much notated in his notes. So, like, you know that he wasn't sitting with it for very long,
Yeah.
and when he explains the pain level to you, like, you understand that that does sound bad, but his hand's not melted. There's not a hole in it. It's just like a slight kind of green discoloration where it hit, and like
Hmm.
his immediate removal of it. And he still says that like his hand will numb up and like spike on occasion. It's kind of a pain that he's dealing with, but he's like you said, he's sure it's going to go away.
Yeah.
So yeah, like if you're comparing notes, like you understand that like she was in it for the whole night, or at least a
Yeah.
good portion of it.
Like,
He,
I can only
But-
imagine that how she tolerated the pain or
Yeah,
discomfort.
because you said it was
Well-
pretty immediate, whereas she wasn't.
well,
But
I
I
will
guess maybe if you're not sensitive to the stuff, you may not notice it as much.
go ahead, Elizabeth. I think you might have the same point I was going to throw out. Go ahead.
So I think under the stage lights, it gets pretty hot. Maybe her sweat made it worse.
Also, contact probably wasn't immediate because I
'Cause
don't know if you've ever, yeah, I don't know if
underwear.
you've ever seen like this kind of era's undergarments, but it ain't
Yeah.
popping. It's just
Yeah.
it ain't it. Like, it's
I
not.
arguable.
I mean, whatever. Okay, it tastes specific. Okay.
And I was
Beg
just, but, like,
to differ, but
I guess
okay.
somebody else put this dress on her because I was wondering about the like putting it on as well. However,
Oh.
either up or down or
Yeah, women probably would dress themselves. Yeah, like I don't think that she had like attendance or anything. That didn't happen.
maybe she was wearing fancy gloves.
Oh no, she probably touched the shit out of it, right?
Oh,
But I think Elizabeth's point is pretty sound.
gotcha.
Because
I'm
under
gonna
stage lights,
get started to
especially back
melt.
then, because like, like nowadays we have LED lights, but you remember like when you were a kid and like the lamp had been on for a long
Yeah.
time and you'd
Yeah.
touch it, that was hot as fuck.
Yeah.
And I mentioned that. when
Yeah,
you went up.
and
Yeah.
oh yeah, I caught that.
Yeah.
But like
Not the best storyteller.
it was even worse back then because they didn't have like it just everything got better.
Yeah.
Nicholas is gonna give
Like
Javier a
those things
band-aid.
lasted like maybe a
Aw,
week
good
tops.
band-aid.
Gonna give him a little band-aid on his hand.
It's a Flintstones band-aid. You put it on his hand.
I look at it and I'm
condescending,
like,
because he's
why
a-
is this any better than what I did to myself?
Yeah. So he removes it and returns like his own.
I put my glove back on.
Yeah, his own wrapping. I'm sure you put like aloe inside of the glove as well. Like you
Yeah.
you basically
We did.
made it.
I treated it.
Yeah, as tolerable as you fucking possibly can.
Starts burning worse because it's damp.
Right.
Moist. Just say it.
Say the M word.
Put
Just
some
say
moist
it.
glove on.
No one will ever watch this. Okay, so
We got 5 people watching right now.
yeah, I think both of it's us. But focusing up though, so once you kind of come to that conclusion, Nicholas, is there anything you add to the notes that are kind of put out towards like the
Oh
garment?
hell yeah! I want to tell everyone about like what this creature could possibly be. Like it's old, and
Primordial.
It's primordial, and if we do end up seeing it, and there's like appendages and claws and like or stingers, something like that, something to that effect. Avoid it at all cost.
The lightkeeper who's kind of standing nearby, and go ahead, Catherine, and speak, but I'm just going to say that the lightkeeper will grab a hold of Nicholas's notes and kind of look at them very thoroughly. And for you, Nicholas, this is not something that's uncommon for you. Lightkeepers that you've worked with in the past are usually more direct and will kind of ask questions or demand answers immediately. But it seems that Jeremy's management style is very much a watch and observe, which strangely he's been put into the circle of the watchful eye.
Like snatch the.
No, he, like once you've done like.
Oh, okay.
He
I
kind
would
of
have been like Javier would have been offended.
no, not your notes.
Right.
Not your
No,
notes. so
even
much.
if it wasn't my notes,
It
I'm like
didn't matter. We
protection of
still
our
would
own
have been like,
information.
Yeah.
excuse me.
Oh, right, because you guys hate.
He
people
worked
not-
hard for that.
Yeah. So he kind of like will move it towards him once it's been kind of like discussed, and as like Nicholas is discussing it, and kind of just pour over the notes that he took, and very quickly kind of like ingest that with his eye holes. And then Catherine was raising her hand during Nicholas's bit.
Eye hole ingestion.
Because that's our thing now. It's our running joke. So we know the type of creature this comes from. My question is, can I kill it, hurt it, like any of that jazz? Because that's my favorite.
Can we first find out if there's a way to undo things like this that may be more permanent?
I mean, yeah, that's
From
your
it.
jam. But like, I want to kill it.
So
And like, if I got this exposure from once and one person melted, there's bound to be more people affected.
primordials kind of fall more in the line of monster than like eldritch horror or like essence or anything like that. So it's presumed that it is a physical,
So it's
tangible,
killable rather than smiteable.
killable
Like you-
thing. Yeah, but taking into account like everything that you know,
This is like a venom.
Mhm.
well, just taking into account everything that you know,
Be farming these?
I actually only have about 5 minutes, so this is not a bad split. What did you say? What can you
Been
say it out-
farming them.
Farming these?
I just want to. I'm gonna end it on one. Just end it on one question that you can pour over for the next week. Do you think that a primordial creature is trying to make green dresses? And with that, that is where we'll end the session for tonight. Thanks for watching. We will see you next week. Your question, Elizabeth, is very pertinent. Are they farming?
Okay, I was
these?
like,
Yes.
wait.
They got
The
him,
creatures are
they got him
probably
locked
not
up
in
in
the
a cage.
business of making green dresses. Just want to
That's
make sure
exactly
that's clear.
what Nicholas wants right here.
Thanks
A
for
creature
watching.
in a cage.
Yes, that may very well be the case. Thanks for watching.